ups, every single one of you. Happy Sunday. I hope you are having a fantastic weekend. I, as always, too blessed to be stressed, but I have a special show for y'all today. But first and foremost, let me just say, happy Sunday. Hope, some people say Sunday's the start of the week or the ending of the week. I view it as the ending of the week personally, and the week doesn't start until Monday for me. But I hope you're having, either way you look at it, I hope it's great for you, either ending or beginning. But I hope tomorrow is even more better than today. I know that's a double negative as far as the English language is concerned, but I don't care. How are you doing? Welcome in. Episode number 96 here of the Untitled series on United Spurs of America. I'm Jacob. Welcome in if you are new. Big shout out to LB for the redirect and everyone who's come on over there. Hey, this is friendly waters. I know it may be United Spurs of America, but first and foremost, I love the same beautiful sport that we all love. People just make wrong choices in life, and if you're a City fan and your parents forced you to be one or you chose to be one, it's okay. I still think you're a great person regardless, just like the man who I do have in the back room right now. So real quick, I just want to say this first and foremost. Before the show starts, you can hit a like. You don't have to. But what I will say is more obligatory than usual. Normally I say hitting a like is optional. You don't have to. It's like grabbing free beer on the way to the party. You could do what you want. But I would highly suggest you click both of the links in the title right now. Go subscribe to It's LB. Go subscribe to Egal Talks Football if you have not already. But you may already know them. You may already not. But look, I wanted to bring something a little different today. And I've got two great individuals, two very knowledgeable individuals, great content creators. So I always say I only support good people here on the channel. So whether I agree or disagree with any of their opinions or their views, I know underneath it all, they're great human beings. So that's all the requirements are for here. Immaculate vibes. That's all I want. That's all I want to see. So let me bring on two debutantes to the channel. Now, they're not debutantes as far as sharing the screen with them. They're debutantes here on United Spurs of America. So big up everybody who is in the house right now. And big shout out to Spurs Talk Show with hitting us with the redirect as well. Big up Sean, Henry, those boys over there. But without further ado, let me go ahead and bring on first and foremost, we have Egal from Egal Talks Football. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome. Happy debut show here. It's going to be very chill. We're not about to play each other. All we're doing is talking about players. It may get a little debated, but how are you doing first and foremost?
Bro, I'm good. I had a burger, watching some NFL. I just watched the movie with the wife. And you know what? Just had a great stream earlier today with Hussam and our next guest. So today's been a good day. All I need now is my NFL fantasy team to win this week, and everything's perfect.
How many points are you behind? Are you ahead right now?
I got. Let's see. I got Josh Allen playing, and my opponent shit the bed. He's gonna get less than 100 fantasy points. So
so you should be all right.
I benched Jalen Warren, and the guy goes and breaks for a 75-yard touchdown out of nowhere. But I'm projected to win. I'm projected to win.
Oh, you get those dubs. Oh, is your name Want to See Your TDs? My name is always Show Me Your TDs.
No,
I always thought that's very fun.
My name is the spa is closed in 24 hours because my team has been injured. So I've been calling myself Spa Therapy for the last couple of weeks. Crazy. Anyways, I think the American fans will love it, but I don't know about the British fans. They might not be.
Some like it, some don't. But hey, I worked in the NFL for 6.5 years, so I'm very familiar with all of it. But without further ado, let me bring on the next guest. You know him, you love him, and y'all were directed here by him. If you're tuned into It's LB. Big up, LB. Lewis, how are you doing? First and foremost, welcome to the show. Normally, we do stream together around this time doing the American Dream over on It's LB. So, again, another plug to go ahead and subscribe to It's LB if you haven't already. But how are you doing, my friend, first and foremost?
Yeah, I'm all good, man. Yeah, thank you for the intro. I gotta say, your intro videos got to be up there, man. It was one of the best in the game. I love them, man. The tune as well. The music. Is the music still playing? Just real quiet.
Yeah, I got it. I've lowered it, and as the show goes on, I'll just eventually drop it out and fade it into the abyss.
I do like that tune. But yeah, no, I'm all good. As I just said to you guys, I was just on the stream then. Hit 1 million views on the channel, man, which was sick.
Can I switch places with LB?
You want to switch places? Why do you want to switch places?
I'll tell you. I'll show
you. You don't like being on the top. You don't like being on the top.
I don't want the Spurs logo covering the.
Oh, that's why. I see. That's product placement right there. I'll move you down here for a little bit, but if we start getting too much Arsenal going on, I'll swip you around. But
no worries.
But OB, first of all,
Yeah.
congratulations. You said you hit 1 million views on the channel.
yeah,
First
yeah.
of all, big
Yeah,
up
of
to you
course,
for
man.
that. Congratulations, my friend.
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah. So that was unexpected. I was just randomly going through like all the stats and stuff and seeing it then with the chat, which was
How many
pretty cool.
subscribers you on now?
9,811.
You're about to hit 10K. There you
We're
go.
about to get 10K, man. So yeah,
Bro,
that's
it
good.
took me 2 years to get 10K. You get in there quick. I love it.
Yeah,
Hell
it's
yeah.
gone quick, man. And I'm enjoying collaborating with people, man. And I've collaborated with more people in the last 3-4 months than I did in like my previous 2 years. So I'm enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying myself right now. It's a good time, man. You know what I mean? I'm speaking to a lot of different people, like, so yeah, I'm enjoying it, man. I'm glad to be here.
Man. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Real quick, I just want to say, whether you like or dislike any of the panelists I ever have on here, show some respect, show some love. No need to take little digs. But hey, there is no Chewy today. As you can see, the dog bed is empty. The dog did not show up for work today. But I want to say big up to everybody in the chat. The chat is absolutely flying. So without further ado, let me say, if you haven't already, partake in that poll, hit a like on the video. It is just the call of booty. That is simply all it is here on the channel. It's free, costs you absolutely nothing, and it supports the channel. Here on United Spurs America, we are on the road to 3K, very humbly and modestly moving along there. We are now like 70, 80 away from the 3K mark. So big up to everyone who has hit that like and subscribe on the channel. Look, we are here to talk about Team of the Year so far. I know this has been a heavily talked about topic on the YouTube world as of late, and I've seen a lot of I want to just throw out there fraudulent 11s when it comes to Team of the Year, fraudulent, worst, overhyped 11s as well, and I just want to bring my own 2 cents. Yeah, not saying Staffy TV, but I'm saying shout out at Staffy TV. Look, I want to set some things right, and I figured, why do this by myself when I know what my answer is going to be? I know where my head's going to lie, but I feel like it's always good to have a little, maybe not, I don't know, Egal, are you unbiased? Can you be unbiased when I nominate the inevitable Spurs players for certain positions?
I don't think you know me well enough yet.
We haven't streamed together I think this is the first time on this channel, second or third time ever.
I'm actually more unbiased than people think. If you watch any of my content and you only see me on the Football Terrace or you just check out my Twitter, you're gonna see a lot of shamelessness because that's what stands out. But 90% of the time, I'm very balanced.
Okay. Well, I'm very biased when it comes to Arsenal. I'll just tell you that right off the front.
Don't expect the Tottenham center back to get into this team. That's all I'm saying.
Fraudulent. I have fraudulent card. I'm pulling the fraudulent card. We'll talk. Hey, we'll get there. It's going to be an interesting discussion because I feel like, you know, there was one decision, okay, maybe 2 decisions a young man made that has now affected how everyone's viewing him long term, and I don't think it's necessarily fair.
Who?
You know who.
Listen, I'm not even judging Romero.
It is Romero. Good guess. You knew it. Anyone who's in the chat, they already knew that's how I'm going as well.
Ask Daniel in the comment section, City fan, if I can be balanced.
When is Egal with Hamza? Daniel, can he be balanced? I think that's what he wants me to ask you. Big up Lisa. Big up everyone in the chat. Nita, I see you. How you doing? Presto the first. Jacob and Egal, why did you choose your clubs? Do you care to answer that? Do you have an elevator pitch for us?
For me, it was 98 France World Cup. I was like, I got into football watching the World Cup in 98. I kind of don't remember what happened before then if I watched any football or anything like that. But I remember after the 98 World Cup, I recognized some of the players when I was watching the Premier League that played for Arsenal. And then from there, the connection to French football got me connected to, we call it Arsenal. And from there, I continued to grow with the club. And I think I really started to watch football consistently when it started to come on TV a lot more in the mid 2010s.
Okay, there you go. Well, there you go. That's why he support. I've played the sport since I was a kid here in America. Didn't really know much about it because it was like there's international games and there's Champions League and there's Premier League, and it's just, to me, no one sat me down and explained it until I started to work in the MLS. And then once I understood it, I was like, well, I need some skin in the game. Chose Tottenham Hotspur because I felt like they were a dark horse under Pochettino. I loved Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, Dele Alli, Kawhi. There was the old band, and I fell in love with them. I
picked the underdogs.
I picked the people because I was looking. I was like, who have I not heard of, right? Who was the team? City at the time were winning. Liverpool were up there. And these are teams I knew of and heard of, and I didn't want to do the Golden State Warriors, Seattle Seahawks type of fandom. I was like, I'm going to pick someone who is in and around that area, maybe not the most successful, but where. And I left it open, like who's going to pull me in, and the X factor really was Heung-min Son. As lame as it is to say, I fell in love with him as a player. Even though the guy who made me fall in love with professional football in the first instance was Zlatan, and you think about their personalities are polar opposites. But is it Dan? I mean, I always remember the headbutt, saw it live, and then all my friends and I are headbutting each other. But look, what? I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
That escalated quickly.
The headbutts?
Yeah.
Look,
all your friends headbutting each other? What the hell?
When you go out there and you start playing these games, it's like, hey, you want to say something to me? I'll show you what Zidane did. And hey, we were young boys, right? Young boys do some silly things with their heads, and who knows what that led to long term. Look, don't want to digress too much. I'm very good at digressing because I started this channel with my best friend, who also is the person who got me into Tottenham Hotspur as well, and he was very good at reining me in. So there's going to be times, LB, Egal, when I'm hosting this thing, it's naturally going to go off into some analogy, or we're going to end up somewhere you didn't know where we were. But I promise you, it will all loop back together. That's just the way my funny brain works. But look, I do want to start by saying, where was that? I think I lost a comment here. Cost France a World Cup. Look, I'm going to get right to it. I've got it shared. Let me change the layout here. We've got an 11 here.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't done any pre-production. LB, you're complimenting me on the production level, but then when it comes down to some of the production, there's really no pre-production here. So let's go ahead and do some of the.
This is YouTube. It's not like it can't be totally perfect. Otherwise, it'd be like professional TV grade, and that's not. People don't come here for that, Jacob.
So I did used to work in broadcast, and I used to work to make things TV level ready on a sports end. So it's just like in my nature to try and be as planned as I can. But then my ADHD doesn't really help when I start talking about something and I could see a comment. I'll see 2 words in a comment and it'll completely take my mind elsewhere. So just bear with me. But look, what would you say? A 4-4-2 is a good. Are we going a 4-4-3-3?
I think 4-3-3 is the standard one these days.
Yeah, why would we go 4-4-2?
Yeah, this isn't 2005 now. Jacob.
I was trying to play some 4D chess. Okay,
we got to move into the modern era of.
Last time we did 4-4-2 combined was last year when Harry Kane and Holland were in there.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to force it as a 4-4-2, right? Like last year.
Even when they did the 4-3-3 last year, I did purposely. I know Holland had an amazing amount of goals, but Harry Kane has 30 goals. I don't care who in the front 3 you move, left wing, right wing, I don't care. It's semantics at the end of the day. When the guy got 30 goals, you got to fit him in somewhere. And that's a little bit of foreshadowing into the front 3 about how I'm going to pick and why I'm going to pick that and stand strong on my laurels there. But look, we can start at the goalkeeper. I feel like there's only been 2 real answers that I've seen a lot of channels discuss. But LB, I'll throw it to you first. Who's your nomination for goalkeeper? And if you had to give a backup to him, who would it be?
Okay. Yeah, goalkeeper. Well, first of all, definitely not Onana, because that guy has done real bad since he's gone in there. I think, and not David Raya either, because I don't think he's looked very good since he's gone to Arsenal.
Fair.
I think Vicario is in with a shout of being that guy. And Sam Johnson, who I've not seen too much of, but he does top the clean sheet charts this season at Crystal Palace, and he's been noticed obviously by Southgate because he's in the England squad. And obviously Alisson, you just kind of have to throw him in, given the fact he is the main one. But the person that I'm going to go for is probably going to be Vicario, because I think the impact that he's had on on Spurs. And as well, remember, Spurs come under a lot of scrutiny and a lot of criticism when they signed him because everyone went, they should have spent the money on Raya. They're bottling it again. They're doing the Spursy thing. They don't want to spend the money. And they stuck to their guns and went for Vicario. And he's come in and he's looked really, really good. Now, obviously, I don't watch every Spurs player, so don't be saying, oh, well, in this game he wasn't great. I'm just saying off the games that I've watched him. And I think you got him for a relatively decent price, didn't you? Like 20 million? When you compare that to something like Onana at 45, who's gone in there and looks like he can't kick a ball and can't keep the ball out the net, looks like a steal. So I'm going to go Vicario. Sorry for the long-winded. I don't know how long you want me to speak about the players, but I'm just going to say Vicario.
I want you to speak about whoever for however long. You never have to apologize here, LB. You are a guest.
My question to you guys then on this is, have you guys seen Sam Johnson play? Because he's been picked by Southgate. He's topped the clean sheet record. He's clearly doing well.
Tied.
I've just not tied. Okay, yeah, he's tied. But I've not seen him really and how he's been. So I can't really pick him because I've not really seen him. I was just wondering if any of you guys have ever seen him, have seen him this year, and is he unlucky not to be there?
Sam Johnson, bro, that
Crystal Palace's clean sheets are predominantly because of the defense, not the goalkeeper, in my opinion.
Yeah,
welcome Sean to the show as well.
Defense. Welcome Sean, by the way.
How you doing, Sean?
Hi, Sean.
Wonderful. How's everyone doing?
Bro, by the way, I missed your super chat at the end of the stream earlier. My apologies.
I know, the worst time super chat ever. I was trying to wind up Sam, and literally as I put it in, you closed.
You want to know the funny thing? Nick Pope has 5 clean sheets, and Onana has 4. So we can't look at clean sheets. Onana's been terrible. How does he have 4 clean sheets? You know what I mean? I'm just going to be honest.
Onana would never be a shout for Team of the Year, and I think he's the #1 candidate for the fraudulent 11 that I've seen some streamers doing as well.
Let me just show you how impartial I am. My selection is Vicario, but I would tell you guys, if there was another person we would select, we haven't mentioned him yet, it's Liverpool's Alisson. Because if it wasn't for Alisson, they would have conceded so many goals by now. Because how many times have I seen him save their ass? And I know it's his job to be a keeper, to save them and be the last line of defense. But Liverpool's defense has 10 goals conceded this season. And we can all sit here and say their defense has not been their strength. So I gotta give it to Vicario, but Alisson is a big shot.
Okay, so if you had to give a substitute, you'd probably say Alisson over Ederson at this juncture.
I don't think Ederson's been that good. I think Man City.
A lot of people are saying
that's cap. He's been very good.
I was gonna say there was your stream I was watching, Ega. I was like, there was a stream I was watching where they had this discussion about Alisson versus Ederson. I wanted to bring it up, but since y'all are here, LB, go ahead. Do you think Ederson is getting a good shout for best keeper in the league right now?
No, and I think he's barely made a mistake. I think the only mistake he made was against Chelsea, where he parried the ball straight to Jackson. Other than that, he's been fantastic. I said earlier on the stream, I think he's closing the gap to Alisson. I think that he's starting to make saves that he wasn't making 2 years ago. His passing's better than Alisson anyway. We all know that. It's just that Alisson's keeping the ball out is superior to Ederson.
Is passing better than Alisson?
Bro, come on.
No, seriously.
No, it is.
I think Ederson is great, and everyone knows how good he is with his feet. But Alisson is no slump.
I didn't say he was a slump, but Ederson is clear.
Making those 50-yard passes to Mo Salah in what do you call it, in derbies against Manchester United.
Nah, bro, I'm telling you, man. Ederson's kicking is when you watch them both, he does have superior kicking than Alisson. But Alisson's better shot stopper. That is fair. But what I'm saying is, I think Ederson's closing the gap on that. I still think Alisson's obviously better, and I don't think Ederson's going to get to the point of being level with Alisson on shot stopping. But he's certainly closing the gap. So yeah, probably a little bit unfair. But I think when you're doing something like this, for me, I also look at impact as well, and the impact that Vicario has had on Spurs is, I know obviously Alisson's the best goalkeeper in the league, but for me, just the impact, man. Just the impact.
Just to tell you, LB, the reasoning for my saying on Ederson is because when you guys don't face too many shots on goal. So when Ederson is conceding one against Bournemouth, and I'm looking at the goals that he's conceding on rare occasions. Like obviously you lost to Wolves, you can see you're just conceding 1 or 2 goals, even though you're winning the game 2-1 versus Brighton, you're still conceding. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying to myself, yes, you're winning the games, but you're not winning it off the back of your defense and your goalkeeping. You're winning off the back of how good your attack is. And I'm not really giving too much credit to your defense. Where Alisson and Vicario, I felt like this, maybe not Vicario because Tottenham's defense has gone downhill lately. But before the Chelsea game, they had one of the best defenses. And right now, Liverpool have one of the best defenses in the league. So I'm just saying that's why I'm picking them. Where this season your defense hasn't been as solid yet.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah.
Sean, where do you stand with this? Do you give Vicario the ultimate number 1 as far as team of the year? Again, so far. So big up Scott M, my Canadian brethren, says, Spurs fans so desperate to justify the Vicario signing, they will put him over Ederson, who is so much better. Big up Scott. This is just based on the first or 12, 13 matches in now. So it's based off of that and not over career.
Such a nonsense take. Vicario's clearly been, the point was making earlier about like the goals that Alisson's been keeping out for Liverpool. Vicario kept out 4 goals against Chelsea, 5 goals by himself. He's kept out 2 goals in every single game, single-handedly from world-class saves, early against Manchester United, against Arsenal. Like I say, 4 or 5 against Chelsea. Sorry, Scott. There's no agenda to try and put him ahead of anybody else. It's just on fair value. Vicario has been the best. If you value shot stopping above other things, obviously these days goalkeeping is a multifaceted requirement. But yeah, Vicario's for me clearly been the best goalkeeper in the Premier League so far this season. It's not even a debate.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So I think that's 4 out of 4 votes for Vicario. I do want to say, hey, Scott, if you want to get Vicario out, all you have to do is super chat who you want to replace him. Super chats will go ahead and veto any of our votes here from the panel, as you well know.
Do any of you guys know how to use FB Ref? Because what you could do if you're really nerdy, you could find out expected goals prevented. And then you could find out.
So FP Ref doesn't take stats, never taken or never bake in context, right? So, like, if you're a goalkeeper that's facing 10 shots a game versus Ederson or Alisson that's only going to face 2 or 3, you might find that a goalkeeper has more shots or a higher, a higher percentage of, keeping out XG against.
Sure,
but that's because of the context of the situation they find themselves in.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I wonder if maybe they have like some sort of percentage one to make it more to address that issue rather than it being total. Could they?
Scout has player adjusted stats that takes into consideration the amount of time that they have on the ball versus off the ball. So it breaks down that discrepancy. Sometimes if you're looking for players that do a certain thing and you're just looking at stats, you're going to find players that are more often up against certain scenarios than other players, and therefore the stats are going to be skewed.
All I have to say is Y-Scout is used for the wrong reasons on Twitter. People just use it to make fail comps.
To make what?
People use it just to make fail comps on Twitter nowadays.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know about that.
Well, it seems like most of the chat agrees Vicario is the best goalkeeper thus far in the season. So I will not refute that because I absolutely agree.
He was actually voted the surprise of the season so far on my channel, and it's mostly Arsenal fans on my channel. So it just goes to show you how good he's been.
Yeah, big up.
So I got to give him credit.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of Spurs fans were quick to say, oh, we went with the cheaper option again. It's so Spursy of us yet again to go for the cheaper option. And he's looking like a really great option at this juncture.
I've got to call Scott out. Scott M, I've not seen you for so long, bro. And when I come back in, you're the same old Scott M. Vicario's best asset this season is being lucky other teams have missed sitters. Bro, you're such a miserable git.
Arsenal fan, right?
No, he's a Spurs fan.
You wouldn't think he was a Spurs fan, but he is a Spurs fan. He just hates everything Tottenham.
Big up Scott, man. We beat Jamaica.
Hey, big up Scott. I always like, I have my perspective. Other people have their perspective, and it's all good in the hood. It's all allowed and welcome here. The proof will always be in the gravy. And you know who doesn't make the gravy with Tottenham?
It's in the
Me
pudding,
or Scott. I like to say gravy because here in the South, when you put some gravy on mashed potatoes and some fried chicken, whoo, you get something nice there. So
There's a Southern accent, mashed potatoes.
mashed tater. Hey, I'm telling you, you get the nicest ratio of butter to potatoes. Something fabulous. I'm just saying. But big up, Scott. Always appreciate all opinions here. Big up. Yep, everyone's saying Vicario. Big up, Futility. Big up in a coma. Good to see you out of the coma and in the house. So let's go on to right back. I'll start this in reverse order. Sean, do you have a nominee for best right back in the Premier League so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's either Kieran Trippier is usually up there in the shout, or Kyle Walker. I think if you're still going to put him in there. One guy I think is such an underrated right back, and he comes from a team that's lower down the bit. I know he's got a groin problem right now, but if Tottenham were looking for a player to bring in, this is a guy I'd go for. Kenny Tete at Fulham. I think he's such a ridiculously good player. When he's
He
fit,
was their best player. Wasn't he their best player when we played them? That one.
He's so good, mate. He's so balanced. He's strong. He can get ball. He get forward, gets back. He's a brilliant tackler. I think Kenny Tete. I also think Robinson on the left as well for Fulham. They've got brilliant fullbacks.
Hey, USA all the way for that.
He's been injured for half the season, so you can't put him in. So
Anthony Robinson's a baller. Anthony Robinson just played for USA, and he had a screamer from outside the box. What an OG he is.
Yeah, he's an awesome player as well. But yeah, I think Trippier probably is my pick, if I'm honest.
All right. We'll put Trippier in there. That's one for Trippier. See in the chat I have someone says Matty Cash. There's a vote for Walker. I'll throw it to you. Who has been your best right back in the Premier League thus far?
I don't want to take everyone's shouts, so I'm just going to give honorable mention to two people, and one of them is my guy. I think Ben White has been solid this season, but you know what? He won't get mentioned in this because honestly, there's been two guys better than him, in my opinion. You have what do you call it? Matty Cash, who's been better than him in my opinion, who hasn't gotten a shout yet either, and then the final guy who you already voted for, which is Kyle Walker. I don't think Kieran Trippier has actually been that good. He's been getting assists from corners and set pieces, but really and truly, the defense has kind of tailed off a little bit. Maybe it's due to injuries, maybe it's due to other things, but I'm going to look at the whole team as a unit, and I'm going to say to myself, Kyle Walker deserves the credit the most out of everybody at this moment in time. But honorable mention to the other guys.
Okay, so you're going with Kyle Walker. This may swing the vote. LB, talk to me. How do you see this? Who's your best right back? Is it Trippier? Is it Walker? Is it Ben White?
No, I agree with the gal. I think Kyle Walker has been, for me, the best right back in the Premier League this year. I agree with the comments on Trippier. I don't actually think he's been as good as maybe some people have made out. I think his assists are probably covering that. I think Ben White isn't performing as good as he did last year. I'm not saying he's dropped off before Igal comes in. I'm just saying I don't think he's been as good as he is last year, which I think is a fair comment. And Kyle Walker, for me, the best right back this country's seen. He just keeps on putting in top performances, and he's captain in City as well, which is not an easy role to take. You know, he's captaining the side. We're top of the table, top of the Champions League group. So yeah, I would put him in there. I think he's the best right back this country's seen. I think he's incredible.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like Kyle Walker, obviously, former Spurs lad. So I do have somewhat of a sweet spot there for Kyle Walker. So I'm fine with also delegating my vote to the Kyle Walker. I would say Trippier is my honorable mention, so that's why I think he's going to get the substitute appearance here in this 11, because I agree with that. I think Walker's just been pretty outstanding. How old is he now? Isn't he supposed to start falling off? What's going on here?
He's 33, 34 in May. But
Defenders get better as they get older.
Sometimes, yeah.
I used to just call him an athlete, not a really good defender. Now he's a really good defender, and he's still an athlete.
Yeah, I agree. On the thing on the Kyle Walker is he as Igal says, because he's an athlete, I don't see him losing his pace anytime soon. And when he does eventually lose that yard of pace, he'll play centre back. Maybe not for City, but he'll play centre back for a top team. So this guy's going to play football until he's 40, in my opinion, because soon, like I say, as soon as he loses that little bit of pace, he'll still be very fast, and he'll just move into centre back like he's done before.
Yeah. Hey, he's a Spurs boy underneath it all. Underneath all those medals and trophies that y'all are giving to him, he's still a Spurs lad underneath it all. So love the guy personally. Big up Bree says, I think this is a weak position, but she's voting for Walker. But he hasn't had his best season. So still getting the nod, even though he's not even having his best season. Big up Bree, new name in the chat. Big up everybody who's new here on the channel. If you came over from LB Spurs Talk Show, maybe even Ego.
Position though. Right back's not a weak position. If you go to left wing, that's a weak position. Right back's been pretty strong, I think.
No, fair. I mean, fair enough. I think that even Walker has had moments this season where he's been. Maybe it was the Champions League matches that I was watching. I don't know, but I thought there was at least like 2 matches where Walker looked like he was given a run for his money. That's not to say that he was by any means taken advantage of. But hey, the guy's 30 some years old and he's still playing. Patty Hartnett, big up Patty Hartnett. Look, you can super chat your Eric Dyer into the team, but by no means is anyone ever going to pick that man. I don't even want to pick in our starting 11 for any fucking game, honestly. But this is where I think it won't be such an easy of a choice, and we might need to run a poll, do some delegation to the chat here. But we got 2 center backs. So regardless of right side, left side, this, that, and the other, I just want your 2 best center backs in the Premier League. All right, not left-sided, not right. They could both be right-sided. They could both be left-sided. It really doesn't matter. I just want y'all's votes for best 2. Go ahead, you go.
The 2 best defenses in the league, Van Dijk and William Saliba. Simple. For me, I respect what Tottenham done to start the season, and I give credit to Van de Ven and Romero. But I just think Saliba has been outstanding for Arsenal this season, and Van Dijk is back to his best. And when you have those 2, when you look at the fact how those 2 have been performing throughout the whole season, I think they get it, or they get the nod for me. And there are some blemishes on the Tottenham players. Unfortunately, one of them got injured, and the other one got a red card. But I'm not even looking at that. I just think Saliba and what do you call it? Saliba and Van Dijk have just been that good.
Luzuli here says Virgil van Dijk's being covered by Allison. LB, do you agree with this? Would you put Virgil van Dijk in your one of your top 2 center backs in the league thus far?
Maybe, possibly, probably. I would say that, yeah. I think that he's looking like he's getting back to. I don't think he'll ever get back to his best, unfortunately, because of the injury, which is a shame. But I think he's getting a lot better than he was been maybe than last year or so. I still seen him not look great in certain moments, but has it really cost Liverpool in those moments? No, which is obviously good for them. So listen, I'm happy to put maybe him in there. I'm happy to put him in there.
Van Dijk, you're happy to put Van Dijk in there?
I'm happy to put Van Dijk in there.
Fraudulence, but okay. It's your opinion. Who'd you put as your other center back? Are you saying Dog Saliba, and why? Saliba.
Well, I don't put him in there as quickly as I think he's being gassed up a little bit too much, to be honest with you. Some of the Arsenal fans going on like he's amazing. He's the best centre back in the world. I think that's a little bit too much.
You're just triggered because you kept your boy Erling Haaland quiet for 2 games.
Well, I'm not triggered. I'm not triggered, bro. We're top of the league. I'm not triggered. I just think that Arsenal fans are gassing him up way too much, just like they did with all their other players. They do this all the time, Arsenal fans. They always gas their players up way too much. So for me, I think that
it's warranted. It's not gas.
No. I'm saying, bro, I'm probably going to put Saliba in here, yeah. But I'm just saying, I think he's gassed up too much. I think he's been putting.
Bro, do you blame us? We went from Mustafi and Socrates and David Luiz. Do you blame us? To have a centre back that can actually receive the ball under pressure, turn around, pass 2 defenders by just one pirouette, and then pass it into midfield. We haven't had that. we've had 4 years of once a defender gets pressure in the back line, you know it's a goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I hear that. I just think for me, for Saliba, I would say we need to see more of him consistently, like over a year's period. I think Diaz this year has been pretty solid for City as well. He wasn't great against Chelsea, but then none of our team was. So I think he's unlucky not to be involved there. But listen, I don't think that I can really disagree too much. I do think that Diaz is unlucky not to be in there. I think Stones, had he not had the injuries, would have been in there for sure. But I'm not going to sit here and make a huge argument against those two players. I think is the fairest way to say.
How much longer do we have to wait for before you say Saliba's the guy that we say he is?
Champions League for Arsenal. I think that's a fair comment.
That's a tall task. We've never won one.
No, I know you're not. I didn't mean win it. I just mean perform well in the tournament. I'm not saying you have to win it. When I say Champions League, I just mean perform well in the Champions League against the best attacks in European football. I think that's a fair comment to make, isn't it?
Okay.
No, that's I think that's fair. I think that's a fair comment to make. You know, like Diaz and Stones did against Bayern Munich and Real Madrid last year. So I want to see Saliba against the best teams in Europe. And I don't want to see no excuses if you stink the gaff out of, or we didn't have this player. I just want to see him play. And I think then, yeah, if he does well in the Champions League this year and continues to play well in the Premier League this year, I think at the end of the year you can say, yeah, that's fair.
Well, if Arsenal draw Real Madrid in the Champions League, I know one player that won't be making the trip out there to Spain. But outside of that,
he was actually in Spain yesterday.
Oh, well, that doesn't help my agenda, Egal.
Yeah, so that whole myth has been busted.
Damn it. Live on air, too, nonetheless.
Maybe that's the wrong pun to use, but that myth is gone.
I will say, shout out Hassam, agendas will agenda. So whatever I can use, I will use. And it sucks that is no longer available for use. Chelsea Blue and Blue asked, why didn't Reece James get a sniff? And I would say I don't think he's been healthy long enough for me to warrant in there. And now he has been good when he has been out there, but for the most part, he hasn't really completed a full 90 minutes. Once this year? I don't know. I may be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. So with all that to say, before I go to Sean's vote, I'm hearing Van Dijk and Saliba.
Yes.
Yes. I don't think it's completely unreasonable.
All right, LB. I was hoping for somebody else there. So we got 2 votes for Saliba. I guess I'll put him in there as a placeholder for now. But Sean, Shirley, but don't call me Shirley. You can save me from the despair of this center back partnership we are making right here.
Yeah, look, I think if we're not careful, we're going to be guilty of placing top 4 players into every position just because of the frequency of watching them. 100% Egal. I was going to say that. And I think there's a massive shout for Joaquin Anderson on the right-hand side. I think he's been absolutely superb. I'm not a fan of Mark Guehi, really not. I think everyone gasses about him. I think he's clumsy. I think his positional sense is terrible. But he's got a brilliant centre-back partnership next to him, which often makes a difference. And I think that Anderson is a sensational player. I would absolutely adore him to come to... I'd swap him for Romero at Tottenham in a heartbeat. I think Anderson is brilliant. But I don't expect him to get in because he's at Crystal Palace, right? But I think if you're baking in the context of the amount of times that, how well Crystal Palace have done when they lost their 3-4 front men for injury for the most part of this season, how much they had to defend and park the bus and do what they did. I thought Anderson was absolutely spectacular. So there's a shout for him. But I think that if you're going to play on the right-hand side, I think Saliba is probably the best. On the left-hand side, I'm going to stay loyal to my boy and say that Van de Ven, I think, has been, considering his youth, his age, his experience in the Premier League, his hitting the ground running, his ability to get back, I think that there's a massive shout for him. But unfortunately, obviously now he's out injured. So,
Sean, it's a good point you make on the lower league clubs and the top 6. And one of the problems that I think we have when we do these the teams is that if you're actually being serious, you got to go off games that you've seen in consistency. And the truth of the matter is, most of us only really watch mainly the top 6 teams. I know there are exceptions. So it's different. Like, for example, I just put in the chat then, is there any shouts for Conser? Because I've watched Aston Villa a few times this year and Conser's been pretty good. But I probably watched him, 3 or 4 times. So for me to come out here with chest and say What about Conser? And someone in the chat will be like, LB, what about this game against Luton where he dropped a stinker? I think that's a good point you raised, and that Sean is right. This will be heavily biased to the top 6. Probably not because we just want top 6 players in there, but if we're being if we're being serious, we've got to do it. That we've watched a lot.
But you know something?
I get it. And for what it's worth, I think that whilst I think Anderson's been spectacular, I do think Saliba's been better on the right-hand side than Anderson. I think Saliba's been spectacular. I can't remember him making a mistake this year. So I think if you got something,
bro? The reality is there's now 7 teams that you could say that are of really good quality in this league that are just like Champions League quality. Then you have Aston Villa. You have like 8 teams that are going to dominate this list every year, unless there's an outlier. When was the last time you've seen a non-top 6 striker take up this list?
I'll be honest. People laughed at me the other day when I was comparing Kurt Zouma to Romero. People in the Tottenham chat. I think Zuma's had a wonderful season at West Ham. I think he's been really, really impressive. I always think he's a really solid centre back. I don't really ever see him make too many mistakes, but the team around him lets him down. I'm not advocating for him to be in this best team of the season, but I'm just saying that there's certain players that sit in amongst, we could go through that. There's players in every team that deserve more credit than they get.
You know what? We should make an honorable mention team while we're doing this team.
Yeah. I have the subs, so we can. If y'all want to nominate any, it's kind of hard to see. I zoomed it in a little bit more.
I think the right back sub should be Matty Cash.
Yeah,
that's fine.
You want to take LB Matty Cash instead of Trippier as the backup?
I'm happy with that. Yeah.
And the backup center backs should be Jakob Anderson and Van de Ven.
That's fine.
So you're saying backup center back. So we're the 3 of y'all are saying Saliba and Van de Ven, or Van Dijk, excuse me.
Listen, I think Van de Ven is ahead of Van Dijk, but I'm biased, so it's fine.
Vote that so I can vote it and we can put it into fruition.
Okay, well I'll say Van de Ven then.
Ah, there we go. So Van Dijk's getting the sub. Like that. I like that. Let's get some Tottenham faces in there. We'll go ahead and make Van Dijk the sub. Hey, look, if the Netherlands team is watching, this is what's going to happen in 5 years.
1 second.
Van de Ven's going to take over.
1 second. Let's be real here. Liverpool have the best defense, or tied with Arsenal with the best defense. And we put Vicario in goal, and we put Van de Ven in center back position.
But hold up. But
how does that make
sense?
Five
of the goals that Tottenham have conceded, Van de Ven wasn't around for.
No, my point is, how are they not rewarded for their successful defense?
Well, mate, listen. I think it's a very close one. I was okay with like it doesn't bother me either way, really.
I think the
Van de Ven is either the sub or he's the starter, and Van Dijk is either the sub or he's the starter. I think that both of them on the left have been spectacular.
Here's my logic. There's going to be way more Tottenham players in this team. We're going to get to left back very soon. Let's be unbiased for a second and put Van Dijk in, just so the defense looks at least a little bit unbiased. Because I feel like if there's 4 Tottenham players in this team, it doesn't make sense.
Someone super chat, so we don't have to do that. That'd be great. I'm gonna also say why Romero needs to be involved in this, because 2 little mistakes. Okay, they're adequate size mistakes.
He's when he's on,
but there's too reckless. Does being too reckless in one match negate all the good things that he's done this season?
Yes, because guess what?
Yeah,
you
don't lose any points by that's just he's affected now and in the future, but not in the past.
When the game is on a Monday night at 8:00, everybody's watching, the whole world's watching. It counts as 3.
Mate, you have to factor in as a defender. You have to factor in that when you make a mistake, the consequences of a mistake are amplified significantly higher as a defender or a goalkeeper than they are as a striker or a midfielder. Harry Kane makes a mistake, or whoever, insert striker here, misses a gilt-edged opportunity, nothing changes. The scoreline doesn't change. He can do 10 of those and still get the winner, and he still is a hero. Romero doing that rash challenge, it cost Tottenham.
Look, sometimes you can get excitable as a human. Sometimes as a human, and you're in a situation that makes your adrenaline rise a little bit. I think sometimes mistakes can be made.
Saliba's been flawless. Saliba's been flawless this season.
He cost you 6 points basically, because if he was there for the Wolves game, you wouldn't have lost either.
Yeah, I agree.
But that is predicting a hypothesis about
you
a
conceded 2
hypothetical
goals in the
situation.
90-something minute, bro.
You don't know that if Romero was there that we didn't do that. You don't know. I mean, I would argue that yes, I would have. But
If
to
he's as good
say
as you're saying
outright
he
that
is,
we
then
would have
he
done
wouldn't.
X or Y if this hadn't happened, I think
One second.
is a fallacy, because that's the same thing that people
second,
do
one
with
second,
the Luis
one
Diaz
second,
thing.
one
If he had
second.
scored, then it would have been this. It would
One
have been
second.
that.
You are saying he's one of the best center backs in the league, correct? Correct.
I would say majority of the season, yes.
Okay. So if he's one of the best center backs in the league and you're missing him from your team, you have a score line where you're leading with 2 minutes left in extra time. You're telling me you wouldn't see out the game.
The high probability is that yes, we would see out that game.
So my point stands. If you have one of your best defenders and you already know your other defender's injured, you would not be playing as much of a messed up back line when you already have 2 players out of your back line out for that game.
Hang about. Sorry, DJN's making a good point. I didn't know this. Has Virgil van Dijk got a red card this season?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Van de Ven stays in and Romero doesn't get in. Yeah, you got to be consistent.
But they did win that game.
Not because of him, though.
Correct.
He didn't help the situation.
It was because of Darwin Núñez. Are we going to put Darwin Núñez in this team?
Let's see what the chat's saying.
Saliba's been flawless, and Anderson has been Anderson's been very, very competent. I'm happy to Saliba start. Anderson is the sub. I'm happy for that one. I don't really care, Van de Ven or Van Dijk. Do what you got to do. I don't think there's any logic to say because we're going to put Udogie in at the left back, therefore we can't play Van de Ven. You've got to treat each position on its merit. And I think the Van de Ven, is either the sub or he's the starter, but you can't put him as a sub because you're going to put Udogie in, and because you're an Arsenal fan, you don't want to see too many Tottenham players in there. That's a fallacy.
I was honestly trying to make it as close to my team, how I have my team, as possible. That's all it is.
Oh, okay. So okay, bias will bias.
So we're saying Romero's a backup, yeah?
No, we're not.
That's
We're
where we
saying
landed?
Anderson behind Saliba.
Not Romero.
And
No,
Van Dijk.
I think Anderson's fine.
This is where I wish I had those sock accounts, because I'd super chat from a fake account and be like, Romero's in there, and just pay YouTube whatever the percentage of that is.
To be fair, bro, I would personally have Diaz in there, but I know you guys ain't going to agree. So.
Oh, Diaz.
Wait,
Okay,
Diaz didn't even play the first 3 games.
Diaz has been good as well. Diaz is fine with me. I don't mind. Whichever one you want.
Wait,
Diaz
Diaz didn't even play for the beginning of the season.
What was his stats?
S-E-N, Jacob.
How many games did he miss to begin the season?
1.
I swear he was coming off the bench for a couple games.
Nah, he missed the first game. That was it.
Serious?
Serious. I've got the stats up, bro.
This feels fraudulent to me. Romero has to be somewhere in and around this, sniffing around.
Nah, bro.
Hey, big up, Bree. Hey, what about this?
It's balanced this way. You have got 2 right footers on the right. You've got 2 left footers on the left. It's nice. I know you said at the start, don't worry about the right left thing, but it's nice to have balance.
Said that on purpose. Look, there's been 12 games. He's missed 3, I think. 1 second. No, he's missed 2.
Diaz has been really good, actually, to be fair.
That's more than Romero's missed.
Who?
Yeah, but Romero didn't get a red card. This man came back from injury, I think, right?
Romero all right. He's missed 1 match, and that was because of the red. And then he missed. He had to get subbed early week 1 after he scored because he had a concussion when he scored. I would also argue that we would be down points without Cuti Romero. I would argue that he's been absolutely pivotal to the position in which Spurs are now sitting in.
You're not letting this go, are you? You're not willing to sacrifice.
I'm hoping someone in the chat will save me and really just help me out here, because I need Romero to be a starter. But I'm also operating off democracy here. I'm allowed the panel to have their opinions heard and then visualized on this 11. But for me, Romero's got to be in there. But everyone's saying no. Even Nate's on my side, and he says no Romero. What's going on here? Oh, Jacob just admitted Romero screwed the pooch. He lost his
Romero in the list. Right?
Disrespect. Recency bias.
Big up, Nate.
You're claiming recency bias when we're doing a team of the season. It's only 12 games in. We have to use recency bias.
Yeah, but there was 11 matches, 10 matches where Romero was solid as gold.
Bro, it's team of the season, not team of the week. Allow it.
He gave away the handball as well. DJN is right. He gave away the penalty against Arsenal,
which they later next week said was not a penalty. That's fraudulence in its own right, so it's not his fault. Lisa here says Diaz. Liverpool 12th man says there's some heavy anti-LFC twerking. I'll at least give Egal this. He sounds like most unbiased nominations, even though I can't believe I said that. Big up, giving some props to Egal there, deservedly so.
I told you I'm unbiased.
There you go. I'm seeing a lot of Stones as well, Stones and Diaz. But the panel here is saying Joachim Anderson. Yeah.
Joachim.
I'm okay with it how it is. If you want to squeeze,
just the Manchester United game alone, he deserves to be in it.
It's a coin flip. Let's be honest. They've all been spectacular, right?
Mm. Yeah, that's why I'm like,
let it go. Romero should not get in. All right,
I'm not gonna.
You know something? This is gonna be the toughest one. I think the midfield everywhere else might be easier.
I saw your list on Twitter earlier on, Igal. I think you were.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Don't get there yet.
Okay.
Left back. Who wants to start?
Left back then. Yeah, let's go left back.
Can I start?
Hey, it's your boy.
Yes, LB. Yeah. LB, you haven't started one. Go ahead.
I'll start. I'm going to throw in Joško Gvardiol. And the reason I bring in Gvardiol is because he has displaced Nathan Ake, who was probably our best defender last season in a treble-winning side. He has come in. He's been absolutely fantastic. I already think he's a bargain at £77 million, which is wild. But I think when you guys watch this guy a lot, you will see that this guy is incredible. The way he moves with the ball, fantastic. Solid defender. Great on the ball. Good in the air. Proper Premier League player. And like I say, I think even though we spent £77 million on him, I think he's a bargain. I really do. So I'm going to throw out Joško Gvardiol.
Joško Gvardiol for the left back. You got some agreeing there. Igor, my buddy, saying Udogi, my boy. Anime Fanatic here with the first super chat of the day says, get Virgil van Dijk in now. Who the hell is Van de Veen? He's next, baby. He's next. If you pay attention to Holland's national team, all right, he's next. He's next up. But, hey, I will honor the super chat. Let's go ahead and put Virgil in there. Even though he has a red card, which apparently means that you're not good the entire season, allegedly, apparently, to everyone on the panel, everyone in the chat, and every other content creator on God's green earth.
Hold on, hang on a second, Jacob. So you're shamelessly saying that when we're drawing on the panel, a super chat of £2 is going to sway your team.
Hey, they're spending £2 of their hard-earned money. Who would I be to not honor?
£2 is enough to twist your arm, is it? Okay.
I think that's the minimum of a super chat.
The cost of bribery is in this democracy. Okay, I hear you. Sounds good to me.
Hey, everyone's got a prize for something, right? Ain't that the truth?
£2?
Shout out Everton. £2. Well, look, £2 is more than any pounds anyone's put into the chat. So
no, I get it. I hear you.
Based on merit. Big up Anime Fanatic for the super chat. We'll go ahead and do that. So
I'm gonna stick in a cheeky £5 just to get Van de Ven back in there. Then if that's the rules,
those are the rules. Them's the rules. This is not. I mean, money exchange will get results. This is not. Excuse me. This is the PGMOL. We're going Vardiol as our placeholder right now. Egal, you're about to speak on the left back. You saying Vardiol? Who you got?
He's Zinchenko, isn't he?
Nah, I got a doggy in there.
Hey, there we go.
That's who I got in my team. I put him in my team. You seen it, Sean. You already knew this. I don't know why you said I was going to put Zinchenko. Listen, I actually don't think Zinchenko's been good this season. I've been calling for him to get dropped. He had his best game the last game that we played, where he scored a friggin' scissor kick before that. But yeah, I put a dog in my team, regardless of the red card. I think he's been the best left back throughout the season. Honorable mention, because he's been an FPL king before he got injured or suspended, whatever it was. I was gonna put Estupinian. I had him in the last time, but he has fell off a cliff.
He's missed many games now, isn't he? He's missed half the season. Yeah, he
fell off a cliff since the last international break. Two international breaks ago. We've had 3 international breaks already.
This is the third. Yeah, this is the third one.
What the hell's going on?
It's absolutely ridiculous. Shambles.
It's honestly disgusting.
Josh,
not to get off the topic, but they need to shrink down the international tournaments, put teams like San Marino and Malta into some sort of junior tournament that qualify amongst themselves.
Yeah, they need to get their ass out of here. ASAP. You know what the worst
Big
thing
up
about
cute.
this, bro? Let me just talk about it for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I like France. I support France. This is why I got into football, watching French football. But 14-0 is not entertaining for anybody. The players, the people getting injured, the clubs losing some of their players to injury in a meaningless game where the team wins 14-0, like PSG just did with the youngster, 17-year-old. They need to revamp the whole qualification to the tournament.
Yeah, just strip down the 25 teams that are terrible, that have got absolutely no like coefficient points, and make them qualify on their own merit and some other tournament. You know, because then they're never going to qualify. Like, so when the European tournaments are taking place in the summer, the teams that don't qualify should fight amongst themselves in their own little mini tournament to get themselves into the next qualification process for the next season. It just ruins.
Bro, I have a simpler reason. Just make the Nations League the qualifications for some of these teams.
Nations League's another disgrace. Who cares about it?
There you go. I don't know. They need to do something, because clearly what they're doing right now is, how is a competitive match finishing 14-0?
Well, shout out the USA women's national team. I remember watching it in the stadium. They beat Vietnam. I think it was 13-0. That was a little superfluous, but I can't say I didn't enjoy it.
Was Megan Rapinoe playing?
Yeah, she was out there. Alex Morgan was out there. They were killing it that day.
They're the most hated women's team ever. It's crazy.
Hey, people, the wind blows the strongest at top is what I would say. Cube says, what the hell, Jacob? Did you just replace Van de Veen with Virgil van Dijk? I did. As you can see here, Anime Fanatic did hit the bribery button, and you can bribe and get your own way. Jacob, you're a Spurs fan, not a Man City fan. Money doesn't buy points, votes for us. For the sake of the show and for the sake of my wallet, it does today.
How naive you are, C Cubed.
C Cubed. You thought I would stand up here on you thought I'd stand on morals. I'm actually standing on business. So that's just a little bit of a difference. I'm standing on business. Yeah. Big business. That's what we're standing on. That's what we're standing on over here. We got some Vardiol over Udogi, but look, I've heard of Udogi and I've heard of Vardiol. So right now, Vardiol's my substitute. Sean, where are you voting? Destiny as our best left back or does his red card also then negate?
No, it does. Yeah, honestly does. If I'm entirely honest, like I think Udogi's been spectacular. However, I take LB's point. I think Guardiola has been sensational, especially as he's not traditionally a left back, is he? He's a left side centre back for his previous club and for his country, and then they've shoehorned him out there as part of the new system. So the fact that he's learned the role and so quickly, he's a brilliant player. I think Udogi has been spectacular. However, I got to be honest. I think, and I've been saying this on my channel, Jacob, and I talk about this stuff all day long. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's a little bit of a lunatic gene in him as a consequence of the system that he's been asked to play. Getting back, I think sometimes he's rash. I think he's got a lot of yellow cards. And he's got 2 yellow cards, got a red card. I think there's a bit of a gene in him that is worrying me. He's young, and so he'll hopefully learn to grow out of it. But I think, same. I look at Romero and I think there's a bit of recklessness in there, and I think with Udogi as well. I think he's a little bit too ready to rush in, and it's going to cost us unless he learns to cut it out. I would still say that on the balance of evidence that I've seen, and I watch Tottenham play more than I do City, I'd say Udogi still deserves it. But it's a close battle because I think Guardiola, and like I say, honest, genuine shout out to Anthony Robinson at Fulham. I think he's brilliant. I think he's a brilliant left back, and I'd love Tottenham to sign him as well.
Yep, I like Robinson at left back as well. So in all that, Sean, you're saying Vardiol gets in over Udogi because of that?
I'm saying it's a close one, and my loyalty will stick with Destiny Udogi.
There you go.
But yeah, if someone comes in with a super chat, shout out to the super chats for £2, then you might be able to get Guardiola, the Croatian, snuck in there.
Look, you already know I ain't voting, so that's 3-1 on
If it's 3-1, does that mean that it requires a £5 super chat to get the displacement? What's it going to take in the situation where it's 3-1?
Because well, let's see. What were we with Van Dijk? It was 2-2.
It was 2-2. Yeah, so £2 was enough.
So 2 was enough. Yeah. So then, yeah, there you go. Since it is a 3-1 vote for Destiny.
Okay, £5 gets Guardiola in. Go on, LB.
Or what you can do, yeah. Super chat £2, and then I will have a chat with the accountant to inflate the super chat to £5, and you will report it in the account, Jacob. When you do your tax reporting, you will report it as a £5 donation.
It will take 5 years, but we'll come back to this 5 years later, and we'll figure out who should have really been in there. You know.
I love it. Hey, corruption at its finest. And it all goes to a good cause, which is to me. So let's do that. I'm good with this. 3-1. Destiny gets in, and I disagree with this. Cursor says another dirty player. Look, I think people are basing their opinions on certain players. Romero got his 3rd red card in 3 seasons for us, and everyone's acting like he's some criminal. The Hamburglar. He's always going to take the hamburgers. That's not necessarily true. He gets a red
card every 18 games.
Yeah, that's not great.
3 in 3 years, not the end of the world.
No, one every 18 games. Because in that 3 years you're talking about, it's not really 3 years. Because he's been out injured.
We talked about this on your show. Don't start bringing stats that undermine what I'm saying, because then we're gonna. What's going on with my agenda? Just like Egal was bringing out some facts. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear
Text me your agenda, and I'll only bring stats to support your narrative. Okay, I apologize. There you go.
I also agree here. Callum Roach says Vardio doesn't have as much to do in Pep's system as Ugodi does in Ainge's.
Jacob, I've got to say that's complete nonsense. I mean, Vardio at Manchester City has to do an incredible amount of work. He has to be a left-sided centre back out of a 3 when John Stones goes forward. So he's a centre back. He has to be a left back in defence. He has to be a left winger, and sometimes he drifts into the middle as well. There's a hell of a lot of work that Guardiola actually has to do. I think that's nonsense.
It's kind of what you almost described as the same thing that Destiny does do, which he is asked to occupy certain areas, more central midfield area, and then get advanced in certain progressions of play. So, look, Vardiol was a player I wanted. It was as I like to call it, the wet dream signing that I wanted before the World Cup, and then watching him ball at the World Cup was absolutely, I think he's a great player. I just think we got. How much did we spend, Sean, on Udogie? Because I do want to factor in price tags and expectations. Because Vardiol's expectations were through the roof for me because he was touted as the best center back on the market, and his price tag was pretty substantial. But I would say Garner's. I thought it would be even more expensive to sign Vardiol personally. I thought his value was that high. So I would say with those based on with those things
Vardiol
factored in,
5 times what Udogie did.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, it's not about price. What it's about is performances. And
it's a consideration, though. It is a consideration.
Udogie gets in, even with the game that he missed with the suspension. He's played 2 more games than Vardio.
I don't know. LB might be. I can see he's scowling a little bit. I think he's worried about where exactly Manchester City are going to factor into this.
No, because I can no.
They're not getting in the midfield. I'll tell you that.
Complete opposite. The least players on this list for me, the better, because that just again shows that we are working miracles, winning trophies.
Working miracles with the accounts and the books.
Liverpool have the best goalkeeper. They've got the best centre back. They've got the best right winger. You know what I mean? Spurs coming in with all the players. Liverpool, Arsenal with other players as well. How can City cope?
Yes, this is the problem. This is the problem with fan bases. When fans like Igal of Arsenal and Sean of Tottenham and Jacob of Tottenham are desperate to shoehorn their players in, and fans of Manchester City are very, very okay with their players not being anywhere near it. It speaks its own story. I feel like that Manchester City are very, very, very happy to fly under the radar. What are you trying to hide? What are you trying to hide?
Because they know they're gonna turn the actual car engine on. They've just been they turn the key just enough to where you could put it in out of park and into neutral, and they've just been rolling. They're top of the league, just not even with the engine on. So
Jacob, I'm a human. Yeah, I got a heart. right? And I've seen my team winning a lot of trophies. You know, we win with the treble.
Are you rubbing it in here?
And,
What's going on?
No. There is a destination to this. I just don't think I've got the heart to battle to get my players in here and literally give you guys nothing to smile about. Because I appreciate you boys. I appreciate for the work that you do. You're all good lads. And listen, I will give you. I'm prepared to accept small L's.
We're getting the pity party. This is a pity party. LB is sitting there going, "Hey guys, you have it. Enjoy it. Enjoy your little meaningless, meaningless front 11. It's fine. You carry on. I'll just go back and look. I'll go and polish my trophy cabinet. You guys
in May, when we win the Premier League, if we do the back-to-back Champions League, I will take that as a W, man. I'll take that as a W. But for now, listen, I will argue when we get to positions. I will argue, but right now I'm happy to let you guys.
I just better not hear Rodri shouts.
Let you have the dubs. Let you have the dubs.
How kind of you.
You know what will happen though, Jacob? Just before we move on, whenever the authorities get around to stripping Manchester City of all their titles, and everything else in the next year or decade, then LB is going to be desperate to come back in and go, no, let's reflect on that 2023-24 season best 11 that we did in November, because I think that there was a massive amount of misgivings and errors.
Hey, appreciate you, LB, for graciously allowing us this opportunity to get our players. Honestly, I'm just looking down and I'm seeing some Spurs faces, and it does make me feel better for whatever trivial amount that is. I do accept it. Look, we are here over an hour. I don't know how long the panelists can stay, so we want to keep this moving. But big up to everybody who's still here. Or 150 on all 3 platforms right now. So whatever platform you're watching this on, do hit a like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It is free. It does help the channel grow. So go ahead and do it. Why not? You know you want to. And big up Sophia's Football Talk as well. We got Ellie, the Queen of North London, in the house as well. She used to play for Spurs women there, Egal. So I call her the Queen of North London, unless you know any Arsenal girls, and we can have her and Ellie go head to head in a debate. That'd be a lot of fun. But anyway, we keep it moving. Let's go to the midfield. For the sake of time, I'll just ask for your 3 best midfielders. Again, the same rules apply. I can be bribed to put your player in there, whoever it is. But also, secondly, regardless of attacking, defensive, holding, it doesn't matter. Just your 3 best midfielders in the Premier League. Iga, I'll go ahead and start with you. You're on mute, by the way.
No, I was thinking, my bad. I was trying to take it off mute also. Okay. So I'm going to put James Maddison in. I thought James Maddison has been one of the best midfielders so far this season, even though he did get injured, and it's kind of breaking precedent here. But I think even with the injury, it's hard to take him out of this team, number 1. On the other side, I have a very left shout. I'm going to put Conor Gallagher in this team. But I realized after I put Conor Gallagher in the team, a lot of people are showing me what a certain Douglas Luiz has been doing at Aston Villa. And based on what Sean said earlier, I'm going to change my vote. I'm taking Conor Gallagher out. And I'm going to put.
Wait, what did I say earlier?
You said earlier, let's not just focus on top 6 teams. So I'm going to take Conor Gallagher out, and I'm going to put Douglas Luiz in. Douglas Luiz has been dramatically better than Conor Gallagher, but Conor Gallagher has been really good, and I think he's been one of the better midfielders this season. And in the defensive midfield, although I respect Rodri and I know how good he is as a midfielder, I'm putting Declan Rice in the middle. I think Declan Rice has been the best.
I hate this. Go ahead, keep going.
And he's been one of the best signings we've had in a long time. He's worth we bought him for £100 million plus, and no one has mentioned his price tag until I mentioned it right now. I don't think anyone has been mentioning it because he's just performing at that level. I think there was a period where you could have said Basuma was up there. There's a period where you could have said Rodri was up there, but Rodri got the red card. Basuma fell off a little bit, and he even himself got sent
after
off.
His red card.
Yeah. So consistency-wise, I'm going to go with Declan Rice, Douglas Luiz, and James Maddison.
James Maddison. Well, Sean, I'll go ahead and kick it on over to you. This is the 3 that Egal has gone ahead and nominated. James Maddison, Douglas Luiz, Declan Rice. Are there 3 different options you have, or any revisions to this you want to see?
Well, Well, I think Madison's definitely in there. I think he's been extraordinary. I think that one's it depends. Are we just picking any three midfielders, or are we trying to stick to a formation here where you get like a
No
6,
formation,
8, 10 or whatever?
no formation. Just three best midfielders, regardless of 6, 8, 10.
Look, I personally, I think Douglas Luiz has been spectacular, but I personally don't like him as a footballer. I think he's not lazy, wrong word. I think he's sluggish. I think he's a bit of a lump running around the pitch. And also because of Henry Wright and I having battles about his love of Aston Villa, I have a distaste for anything to do with Aston Villa. So I'm probably not the right person to judge Luis, but he has been brilliant. Declan Rice for sure. The only one I
There's a lot of Bernardo Silva, Rodri in the chat.
It was been spectacular as well. Again, though, you have to bake in like the requirements of certain players. What are they asked to do? Are they asked to dig in and do things on both ends? Can I abstain for the moment? And I want to come to LB and LB give his.
So you're going to allow LB's choices to dictate?
No, I just want to hear. No, I'm not saying let him pick for me. I'm saying I want to hear LB, and then I'll come in and see if I've got any particular problem.
Okay.
So at the moment, I think I don't have a problem with what Miguel's picked, to be honest.
LB, up to you.
Yeah, I'll give you the correct midfield three here, and it's Rodri in midfield, with James Maddison and Julian Alvarez as your midfield three. That is the correct midfield three.
Julian
Alvarez is a midfielder.
Juliano.
We're shoehorning. We are shoehorning.
Well, that's where he's played. That he's not played as a striker. He's played as a midfielder.
Really? Okay.
He's replaced Kevin De Bruyne. That's where he's been playing. He's replaced Kevin De Bruyne this season, and he's got 8 G&A in the Premier League.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
As I've got to say, 8 G&A. I mean, what's Maddison got?
If we're putting Julian Alvarez in there, I wonder what we're going to do with the left wing.
You already know what we're doing at the left wing, Egal. You don't need to wonder. You're on a Spurs channel. You know where I'm going with the left wing.
Saka. That's what we're doing.
Oh, whoa. No.
Saka doesn't get anywhere near this 11, by the way.
If Son gets in at left wing, Saka gets in.
I'm doing
No, Son doesn't get in either.
No, Son's getting in. Son's getting in.
Really?
I don't care what anybody says. I have an emotional super chat that's already, y'all can't see it, but I've already super chat.
I feel like if we're putting in traditional midfielders, Bremo's got 6 goals playing out of midfield. I don't know if we're being a little bit harsh on Brentford here. I don't know. I don't know.
You nominating Mbeumo for the midfield? Is that what I'm hearing?
I think I don't know. I feel like we're shoehorning players that technically are forwards that we're kind of bringing them back into the midfield so we can find other places for the people at the top end. If we're doing that, 6 goals and Mbeumo's technically a midfielder. I don't know. Is he a consideration?
I think you should pick players who played.
You might as well put Ollie Watkins in midfield.
No, you pick players who played in midfield this season. That's how.
I'm joking, LV. Listen, I think Julian Alvarez was great, but guess what? Majority of his goal involvement came before the last set of international breaks. Every international break, we do a different combined 11. This time, he doesn't get in my opinion. Same way that James Ward-Prowse doesn't get in, and he was getting in a lot of teams last time. I just think they haven't sustained it, where Maddison sustained it, Declan Rice sustained it, and Douglas Luiz has raised it to another level. I think Alvarez has been a great.
Well, hang on a minute. Maddison's not scored in his last 3.
Because you could say Rodri's got 1,000.
Maddison is not about scoring.
I think Rodri's the only player that's made over 1,000 passes this season, right?
Are we going to put Cole Palmer in here?
What are we looking for?
Cole Palmer is not getting in this team. It's not a Chelsea channel. If it was a Chelsea channel, maybe, but not this channel.
No,
I want to say this about James Maddison. He's statistically our highest, Tottenham's best rated player.
Madison gets
season.
I think everyone university
Madison
says
gets in impact alone.
Yeah, Madison gets in.
Same way Vicario got voted.
Rice gets in, and then I think you have to make a decision on Douglas Luiz. He scored 5 goals.
Well, we'll go ahead and put Dougie Luiz. We'll put him as a sub because I think that's a good shot. I think he's actually been a great asset there for Aston Villa. And he has, I agree with you, he has elevated his game. Douglas Luiz 2 years ago was not this Douglas Luiz this year.
Alvarez?
Say that again?
Douglas Luiz or Alvarez?
Look at LB. He's nonchalant. He's not even.
LB, tell me why should I put Alvarez in over Douglas Luiz?
Because Alvarez has been put into a team to replace Kevin De Bruyne, and he's delivered. He's got 8 GNA. That is huge pressure. And you can't talk to me about he's not done it recently, bro, because then Maddison's scored on match day 9, and Alvarez scored on match day 9. That's the same.
Incredibly offensive team, though. Madison and Alvarez, with only Declan Rice tidying up.
Well, this is the thing, though. If you have Rodri instead of Declan Rice, that's calm, because that's how we've been playing for the last 3 years.
I'm not opposed to Rodri over Rice here.
So Rodri, Alvarez, and who's the third midfielder?
How many games has Douglas Luiz played?
It should be Maddison, Alvarez.
I think he's played 12
with Rice as a backup.
Douglas Luiz played every game, and Aston Villa are currently 6th in the Premier League. Like, are we not going to have one Aston Villa player in this team?
Yeah, but you got to make hard choices, though, bro. You got to make hard choices, isn't it? You know,
I think he fully deserves it.
Cash is on the bench, so he's not. We are representing.
Man, in 12 games, in the Aston Villa side, he has 5 goals, 1 assist. Douglas Luiz, guys.
Exactly. Yeah, he's an 8, isn't he? Not even a 10.
All right, I'm hearing get Rice out for Rodri. Is that where we're landing, folks?
All it takes is a £2 super chat, and you'll get your
team, bro.
Why is Rodri not getting in this team again? Why is Rodri not getting in the team?
Rodri's not in this team. Simply put, same reason why we didn't put Romero. He got a red card. Stupid decision to put his hand on somebody's throat. On top of that, he cost you guys games. And when he was playing, he's been outstanding. Don't get me wrong. He's been one of the best players when he's been playing. But Declan Rice has been consistent throughout the whole season, and he played all 12 games, where your guy had suspension.
But Rodri's been the best DM this season. He's also he has,
simply
and he's got 5 DNA as well.
Declan Rice has been playing every single game and has dropped 10 out of 10 performances almost every single game.
Just to annoy Igal and to try and restrict the amount of Arsenal players that are in there, unless there's a £2 super chat that's going to influence this, I'm actually going to lean towards Rodri. This guy.
Rodri played 7 games. Sorry, my bad. 10 games. 10 games.
He's played 10 games, yeah.
Hey, I will vote as well for Rodri over Rice, but we'll go ahead and put Rice as the backup there. He'll get in as a backup. Right, we're happy with him as the
backup. What happened to the impartiality?
Igal is furious. Love it.
Well, hey, they both voted for Rodri, so I mean, my hands are tied.
Can you tweak the system to make it look balanced to me? Because I'd like to see Rodri pull back into the middle and then move the other two around. I'm a bit ADD.
Listen, Sean, I tweeted out my combined my team of the season so far. Tell me how. Not even my Arsenal followers, even some of my City followers are saying, you know what, it's fair. Declan Rice should get it.
If I'm entirely honest, I feel like if we're going to put 3 out and out, forwards in there, then I feel like it's still a little bit offensive heavy. I think we're going to be ripped open at times. If this team is it's going to be exposed. Rodri's good, but Destiny Doggy's going to get caught up the top end of the pitch. Kyle Walker, he's got the pace to get back. I don't know. It's fine though.
Should I do a poll in the chat? We seem very torn.
No, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with Rodri. Yeah? I'm very happy to not see Declan Rice in there. £100 million, remember? Big price tag.
He's big and he's delivered.
Wow.
You're in the same position as last year, right?
They're in a worse position.
What? No.
Worse position than last year.
Points wise, they're in a worse position.
Yeah.
1 point less.
I mean, everyone, Arsenal fans, all it takes £2. Get Rice in your team.
Scored against Manchester United. Every Arsenal fan's like, that's it. Price justified. No, nothing more to discuss. Well, a lot more to discuss.
Getting the Chelsea game also.
Yeah, no, he did well. But Rodri's been for quite a long time. I'm okay with Rodri being in there. If I'm honest, I vote Rodri.
Bro, Rice has been better than Rodri this season based on the fact that he played every single game.
No, it's not. That's not a reason, bro. You can't be like he's better than him because he's played in every single game.
Your man told somebody and got a red card.
Bro, Rodri. Yeah.
Guys games.
Rodri's a DM and he's got 9 GNA.
Because
9 GNA in 15 games for a DM.
No one cares about the GNA outside of the Premier League.
About GNA.
Only 5, right? In the Premier League.
Only 5. That's a 50%.
It's a DM. Okay, now we're judging DMs on goals. Since when?
Tell you
No,
what, Igal,
no.
tell you what, Igal, he's got an honorable mention in the sub spot behind Rodri. Okay, can we?
You have got an honourable
Since
mention.
Since when do we judge defensive midfielders on goals?
Bro, your team's still crying out for Shaka, mate. You know what I mean? Like, honestly,
No,
Rodri, mate.
rivals are crying out for Xhaka. I'm
Nah.
simply saying I give him respect. I always give him respect. There's people who
Nah.
are now finally realizing how good he was.
105 million on Rice, and you're like, oh, we need Shaka, bro. I'm
Bro,
telling you, man.
don't act like you guys weren't twerking for Declan Rice. You wanted him to replace Rodri.
Nah, did you not hear what that footballer said on TalkSport? We just wanted to boost the price, man. We was helping out West Ham.
Oh yeah, that could have been a possibility.
Shout out to West Ham.
Shout out
We
West
got
Ham.
our guy. I don't care. We
West
got
Ham,
our guy.
Manchester City,
I'm
innit?
happy.
Oh, look, Igal, you do care. You're furious. You are
No,
furious.
I'm happy we got Declan Rice. I don't care that they paid anything.
Oh,
I
but
remember Sean and people like Sean.
how angry are you about the fact that
Sean,
Declan
people like
Rice
you-
isn't getting into this team?
Sean, people like you were celebrating when City submitted the bid for Declan Rice. You're like, yes, they're gonna get him. Arsenal's gonna get fucked again. You're loving it.
What do you mean? People like me? What does that mean?
You're a Spurs fan, no? You were probably
Yeah.
laughing, enjoying yourself. You probably had a show on your channel.
No, mate,
talking
I'm not
about
that sort of Spurs fan. I'm not that sort of Spurs fan, mate. I enjoy. I don't even hate Arsenal. You know this. I've spoken to you about this. I don't even hate Arsenal. I like.
You
Arsenal.
hate Liverpool and Chelsea?
I hate Liverpool and Chelsea. Yeah.
You see, he's old-fashioned. I had a Chelsea fan on the train when I was going to London to watch a game one time. He told me, I actually don't care about Arsenal. I care more about Tottenham and Liverpool. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. Our rivalry has always been with like West Ham, Tottenham, and Liverpool. And the Liverpool came from the
all of my
Benitez.
friends growing up were Liverpool fans, and they are unbearable. They are unbearable. So I hate Liverpool. I wish
I
nothing
actually
would
hate Chelsea
happen
more than Tottenham.
at that football club. Yeah, and Chelsea are just like
You've seen me go at Chelsea. It's
Chelsea are
unbearable.
Chelsea. Yeah. I appreciate
Mike
Arsenal,
Doss here with
really.
the super chat says Alvarez in, Vicario out, Allison in, right? Alvarez and Vicario out, and Allison and Rice in. You frauds.
Yeah.
He's in a
So,
£4
Hussam,
or
the team is null
$4.
and void. There's no
No, that
Declan Rice.
dollars, not pounds.
There's
Dollars,
no-
not pounds.
there's
No, sorry, it's not. The rules.
Done.
No, come on.
Rubbish.
What's the
It's
currency
because-
exchange there, Sean?
Guys are saying I'm worse than Ty. Listen, Ty's my uncle. Respect him.
Listen, unfortunately, $4 when you put in the tax, the Tottenham tax, and you transfer it into pounds, it's just doesn't quite
Yo,
equate to
Hussam,
£2.
I had to fight for my life to get Van Dijk in. You're worried about Vicario.
All right, so
Are
we're
you
okay,
offering
we're
buy
okay,
one,
we're
get
okay
one
with the-
freeze
we're
on
okay with
bribes
the-
now? Callum Roach brought up a great point. It is per super chat. Mike Doss, I should have explained this a little bit sooner. You'd save yourself $2. So, Mike, hit me in the chat which one of these you want. It is per super chat. So, go ahead. I'll let you pick. Do you want Alvarez out or do you want Vicario out? I will
Come on,
honor
put
your super
Rice.
chat there.
Put Rice. Come on, Mike.
Then put Allison
Oh, you
in.
picked
He chose
Allison.
Allison. Rice sitting on the bench. All right. Let's go ahead and swap this out then.
Put in another £2. Come on, bro. You can do it.
No, I agree with that, man.
This is
I'm
madness,
happy he's done
mate.
that.
This
That's
is
a good-
madness.
No, that's it. It's better than putting
Obviously,
Rice.
common sense here, mate.
It's better than putting Rice in for sure.
How do you
Put
spell
in
this
Beckham.
fucker's name?
Put in Becca. I think
Right,
you
it's
put
got a
in
Y.
Becca.
Oh,
A-L-Y.
There it is.
Oh, no, say L. Oh, fuck, I was wrong.
Yeah.
There he is. Mike did put the frauds. Hey, this whole thing's slightly fraudulent anyway. All right. So I think that will round out our midfield. A lot of people I saw in the chat saying, how can you put Alvarez as a midfielder? And I think LB explained it very poignantly that he's essentially been replacing De Bruyne for the majority of the season. And you would say he's been excelling at that, right, LB?
Yeah, he's been 8 goals involvements in the Premier League this year for a guy who's replacing Kevin De Bruyne. He's done very, very well. And putting Rodri in behind means that Maddison and Alvarez can go forward. You got Van Dijk, Saliba at the and Walker at the back with Udogie pushing forward. That's what happens with City. We won the treble doing that, so no problems there. And yeah, I like that. I like that back four. I like the midfield.
All right.
Yeah, decent.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the midfield. And if anyone feels differently, feel free to bribe your way into non-FFP regulations. But look, this is going to push us to the front three. Now, again, I'm going to go ahead and open this the same way that I opened it. Oh, here we go. We got 2 super chats. One from Spurs Talk Show, Vicario for Allison. And to honor it, there we are. And to just solidify a $15 or 15 Australian dollars from Futility. Big up Futility. Locking in Vicario. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it now. We've got him for the long hauls.
Is that the rule? Right? Is that over a certain threshold you can't be unbroken? Is that would do?
I mean, unless someone breaks 15 Australian dollars, Vicario's staying in the 11.
It's a bidding system, right?
You know what the funny thing is? I'm out of it. I'm like pissed off about this midfield, but there's people out there. There's people out there that would fully agree with this team and say it's fair.
It is fair.
It's more than fair.
It's not.
Yo, lucky Saliba's still there because my bias is fuming right now.
Listen, all it takes is £2. Guys in the chat, if you want to see Romero get yourself back into the first team, all it takes is £2.
I couldn't even get Romero on the bench.
I swear down someone votes Saliba out of this team, man.
Fantastic. Hashtag Lusam in the chat. Big up Husam with This Is Football. Got a great show tomorrow. I've got the bane of Spurs fan base in the house. He will be joining me on the show, so make sure you're here if you got something to say to him. Loser Pool in the Mood says Spurs King. Sorry, I'm getting some messages there. Damn, it's just blowing up.
A second.
I don't know why they're in the mud, but I'll take it. Anytime they're in the mud, hey, shout out Joel Matip. Moving along, let's start with the right wing or any forward, because I don't want it to just be left wing, right wing, striker. Like, this is pretty unconventional. So I think we could start down the middle. This is a pretty unanimous.
We'll put Sonny in somewhere, shall we?
Should we just do the 2 obvious ones first, because then we can come to the debate on the last one? Because there's two obvious ones here, right? We all agree.
Yeah, there's one.
I could count us down from 3, and we could all say the right winger, and then we can say the striker. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all know Erling Haaland. Look, I'm just gonna do this as a rough outline, and we can tweak it as we go, because I think this is a pretty.
Yeah.
Those 2 at least. I think the only thing that people are going to debate here is Steve D, Dyer for Saliba.
What a super chat, man.
What a super chat that is.
Bro, I'm going home. I'm home, actually. I'm going to sleep. You have a good one, bro. This is mad. What the hell's going on?
Saliba will get the bench.
Listen,
it's
I'm
99. It doesn't break the threshold.
I'm protesting until Saliba gets back on the screen. I'm in protest.
He is on the screen. He's right there behind our Dyer.
Only.
Hold on a minute. Look at Igal with the suit in his icon, his profile icon. Look at Igal.
I am in protest.
He's gonna argue.
I have to respect. Steve D sent the super chat. I have to respect it.
The game's the game, man.
Somebody replace him. Someone put what?
Here we go. Callum Roche, Kuti for Dyer. There we go. Now we're looking better. Oh yes, talk to me nicely.
In protest. Somebody put Saliba back in.
He's on the sub. He's on the bench.
He's got honorable mention.
He's there.
Listen, I feel bad for fucking Anderson. You know, he doesn't deserve to be dropped.
He just £2 all it took. Bye, Anderson.
Someone super chat Saliba out of the backup position, man.
Let's kick him out.
Someone a £1 super chat gets rid of the substitute player. So someone donate £1 to get rid of Saliba.
And the best thing about this, right, is that I'm gonna as soon as this thing is done, I'm gonna screenshot this starting 11. I'm gonna tweet it out. I'm gonna say this is the team of the year so far that Igal has been a part of building, and it's not gonna have a single Arsenal player in it by the time that we're finished.
Listen, somebody super chat £50. Get me off the stream.
£50 super chat, and Egal said he will leave. Well, there you go. Look, I just have to honor the people.
Okay, 20.
Even a 20 will get him out. That's how bad he wants to go, y'all. I don't recommend it. Make him stay as long as possible so we can really see this out. Does anyone have any objections to the front 3 of Heung-min dad, Heung-min father,
yes.
Erling
Haaland? One out of that place right now. Put Bukayo Saka in. Easy.
Saka is not even the best forward in Arsenal this year.
Who is?
Martinelli. Nketiah. Eddie.
Martinelli. What has Martinelli done?
I don't know.
He shot the ball and it went off of someone's butt cheek for City, didn't he? He had the butt
I've
cheek
had
goal.
him in my FPL team all year. And he's got me like 20
One
points
second,
or
Sean.
something.
Do you know how many goals Martinelli has this season?
I don't know. Not many.
Do you know how many? He had 1 goal in the Premier League, bro. What are you talking about?
How many has Saka got?
4 and 4
Yeah, it's
assists.
not a lot. It's not really a lot, is it? Let's
He
be
has
honest.
4 goals, 4 assists.
Saka doesn't belong in that team this season. He's not been good
No,
enough.
he doesn't. He doesn't.
Bro,
My question
Saka
on
has
Son.
1 less GA than Son.
No, yeah, but are we doing proper left wing here?
We're doing left wing.
Yeah, but you can't put Saka in left wing, innit?
Saka's been one of the best players this season.
Yeah, but you can't put
Yeah.
him in left wing.
Why not?
I'd rather have Mbuemo in there over Saka. I'd rather have Ollie
Matoma?
Watkins.
Okay, toss in Ollie Watkins, left wing. Let's go.
Diaby.
Now we're
There's loads
talking.
of players that I think have been better than Saka this year.
Bro, I swear, if I see Doku or Son or freaking Mitoma in this team over Saka, these are unbelievable fraudulent moves. Like these are fighting words. These are fighting words, literally. Like, what are we doing here,
Hey, Sonny scored 8 goals. How many? He scored twice as many as your boy Saka.
bro? That's all he's done.
What's
What do you
Saka
mean that's all
done?
he's done? What do you mean?
Saka's gotten 4 goals, 4 assists, and he's been one of the best chance creators in the league.
So 4 goals and 4 assists versus 8 goals.
It's the same GA.
A goal is more important than an assist. Come on.
Bro, you don't have a goal without the assist. So the assist is more important.
But you can get a goal without an assist.
No,
You
I'm
can't
saying
get an
you don't
assist
get
without
to-
a goal.
You can get a goal without an assist, yes. But most of the time, the goals come from the assist. 9 times out of 10, goals are assisted.
Got another super chat here. Totspurs.
Oh no.
Van de Veen on bench. Saliba he's already on the bench though. Totspurs. Tell me who else is on the bench to get rid of Saliba. But Van de Veen's already on the bench. Are we putting Joachim Anderson?
Actually,
you want?
sorry, Miguel. Sonny's got an assist as well.
Somebody put
So,
me out of my misery and just put somebody else in.
Saka's definitely not in. Saka
Real quick, I gotta close this door. Y'all keep.
not in that front 3.
Put somebody else in.
Why are Ollie Watkins 11 GNA?
Yeah. Okay. Watkins can go in.
Thank you. Now we can talk.
And then Son as the backup.
Oh, you just didn't want Sonny in. Okay, I get it.
At least I understand. The man got the 3rd most GNA. Now you have the 3 players that have produced the most goals and assists in the league from the front line on the team. That makes sense. But to put Son in there, it just feeds into the Spurs agenda you guys have on so far. And I get it. I'm on a Spurs channel. Know your audience. But what is this?
Bro,
Come on,
he's
guys.
he is player
Bro,
of the month.
One
And
second.
no name that you have mentioned was even
I was-
nominated.
Bro, you guys are moving like the Chelsea channel I was watching earlier today. They had Thiago Silva, Conor Gallagher, and Cole Palmer in their Premier League team of the season so far.
So
I
Saka
think
had
that is
2
way more
penalties.
fraudulent than saying
Of that
player of
4
the
goals,
month.
Saka, 2 of them were
deserves.
penalties.
What?
So of the 4 goals, Saka scored 2 of them were penalties.
Of the goals that Son scored, one of them was a hat trick in one random game.
Yeah, hat trick. Yeah, hat trick.
And it at least wasn't lauded as the worst hat trick in the history of the Premier League, so we have that.
Yeah, that was Jackson, and he beat you.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. That wasn't fun.
But you know what? It's
Um,
okay. It's okay because you played a high line. You did it for football, and you didn't complain about referees. So you guys got the moral victory.
The chat saying Sonny. I'm seeing a lot of Sonny. Lloyd Kelly for Saliba? Question mark. Maybe.
I like Lloyd Kelly. I figured out the
I'm not
Spurs.
gonna lie. At this point, just put me out of my misery. Come on, guys. What is this?
Big up everybody in the chat. Make sure you are hitting that like. It's absolutely free. But big up. Look, I agree with this from Ren. It's an agenda to put only one of the players of the month in this team.
Yeah, but that play of the month's shit. Should we? No, what we're talking about? That's not for me. It's not like a valid thing, bro.
Player of the month? You don't think it's valid?
No.
Are we celebrating Player of the Month now? Come on. What the hell is this? This is the most Spursy thing I ever heard.
Son's got a player of the month. It's facts. If you,
Hey, Jay,
whether
Are we
you
going to
weigh
say
it
your
heavy or
manager's the
not.
best manager because he won Manager of the Month every year?
3-peat. Yeah, he did do the 3-peat.
Yeah,
so
and
that's kind of nice.
if we're doing and we should actually include manager.
That was my final question to wrap up the show. Was feel like that would help us descend into full
and it has
chaos.
to go one way. It's only going one way. Anyone who says otherwise,
Ange Postecoglou is the best manager in the Premier League. Get out
at the
of
moment
here.
this season.
It's based on
Do
he.
we realize how
He's
difficult
got
it is?
3
for
manager of the months out of 3. He's triple threat.
Yeah, because the media sucked you guys off.
Who are you going to give it to? Arteta?
No, Jurgen Klopp.
What? Why Klopp?
You guys realize what Jurgen Klopp was able to do? Revamping his whole midfield and having to have a whole new midfield. Like,
And Postecoglou's revamped our entire team.
Bro, your expectations were nothing. Your expectations were in the bin.
But I'm not giving it Klopp, mate. No way.
Okay, I'd rather give it to Pep. He's had to deal with Kevin De Bruyne being injured.
Take those nasty little red tinted spectacles off and see
Bro,
what Tottenham is doing.
I am not.
You can't see what Ange is doing, mate. You can F off down.
My man says, mate, everyone likes him. Fuck that, bro.
So for the backups to the attackers, before we continue the lovely conversation that is my manager being the best in the league right now, are we saying Jeremy Doku as a backup? I heard Ollie Watkins as a backup. I think that's a good
Son
shout.
has to be in this team. How about that? Put Son in the team.
He is.
Okay. We have to put Romero in this team too.
He is.
Romero's in the team.
Romero, he got super chatted. Well, Van de Ven Van Dijk got super chatted.
Nah, I see what he's trying to
do.
No, he's trying to sabotage, man.
So that way he could turn and say it's just it's all Spursy.
Yeah.
Gal, we're well ahead of you, mate. We're all going to be putting out the tweets later on tonight.
We need a super chat for Van de Ven ASAP.
Nah.
ASAP. Even £2.
Reverse psychology in his chat. Don't let him do it, man.
This is gonna.
Yeah, you are writing off on this particular 11 and
how many
the 11
players?
behind
1,
it.
2, 3.
Who's the goalkeeper? Who's the sub goalkeeper, by the way?
Allah, 6 Spurs players already. Get Van de Ven in. They need 7.
Don't do it, Jacob.
Yeah, Gal, you're transparent, mate. I can see through you.
I love.
Sorry, at this point,
Hassam sent me a voice note, and he's asking me to play it on stream, and I'm a little concerned.
Do it.
But
let's do it first. Just do it. Let's see what he says.
Just play it.
Yeah, play it loud.
Listen, first of all, Son left wing is a travesty because Son's crap as a winger, and you as Spurs fans know this. That's number 1. Number 2, can you stop this Ange Postecoglou hype? This is exactly why no one stands that manager. No one stands that fraud. Jurgen Klopp rebuilt a whole midfield and rebuilt a whole team in one summer transfer window. And we have the strongest defense in the whole league and the most lethal strike force. What the hell?
Tell him, Hussam.
Mohamed Salah is out there representing your most.
The thing is, people tell me I've been on Liverpool. I've been bigging up Liverpool too much, but the reality is they don't get enough credit for being second in the league right now. One of the best defenses, revamping the whole team. Everyone's sucking off every other manager like Ange Postecoglou and all these other guys. But the reality is, Jurgen Klopp gets no credit. You got Pep Guardiola, literally got banned for a couple games. He's had all these injuries. He's also had one of the best players in the league, a Premier League legend, and Kevin De Bruyne out.
Who's the manager of the season?
No one speaks about it. At this moment in time, it's Unai Emery.
Unai Emery. I think Henry Wright would love that option there.
Yeah, he would absolutely. He'd be frothing at that, and he would be here making that case 100%. But
good evening, people. Good evening.
Unai Emery's team this summer has not transformed as much as Tottenham's have, and we're ahead of them in the table. We're ahead of them on points as well. I think that the biggest surprise this season thus far. I know that everything's going to go south for Tottenham very soon, but thus far we're 2 points off the top. I don't think anyone would have thought that beforehand. And with Ange getting 3 manager of the month awards, I just don't think you can give it to anyone else.
I can make a couple of different options. I think Emery is more worthy of the Player of the Season award. And I also think if you went down the table, someone who doesn't get too much credit but deserves it is Gary O'Neill. At Wolves, he's got that team up to 12th. They play incredible football. They were very unlucky against Manchester United. Should have won that game 2-0 up. They were very unlucky against Liverpool. They were 1-0 up there and should have won that game. They beat Manchester City. They beat Tottenham. They're good. They play great stuff. He's
Yep.
dealing with an FFP restricted team. And
All right.
he's a manager that
He
none
can
of
be on
them
the
are
bench. He can be the bench. I'm happy with Gary Neville being the bench manager behind Ange Postecoglou. I think it's a reasonable take.
I would say Emery is above Ange, in my view.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
possible basis?
Ange Postecoglou-
Yeah, on what basis, LB?
Ange Postecoglou, guys, is the biggest media whore I've ever seen in my life.
He's not a media whore. He doesn't go out of his way. He doesn't like talking to the media.
He's himself, and they love him for it.
He just gives sound bites to the media that they start sucking him off for it. It's like, yo, I'm just better than Pep, mate. What the hell is he doing?
Well, he's just talking in his natural accent. He's talking in his natural Antipodean vocality, and that's a problem.
Bro, to come out and say, "Oh, we have to respect refs."
This guy needs to be shunned.
We have to respect the referee's decision.
Why? Because he says, "Mate,"
problem.
at the end of every sentence.
There's no problem. There's no problem if you want to be a media darling and be a pick-me. I see what he's doing. I see right through it. He is saying everything that he needs to say to get the media on his side. So when things turn left, because they will turn left, that he already has enough credit in the bank that they don't criticize him too much. That's what he's doing. He's trying to make friends.
You think he's figuring that's what he's
manipulative.
Doing,
He's the most manipulative manager that we've seen in a long time.
Wow.
Ange is not manipulative. He's a lover.
This is a madness. He's the most down-to-earth manager in the Premier League. He's got no hype. He's got
why?
No
because
ego.
he says, "Mate."
There's nothing at all. He's the guy who's always been bet against. He's the guy that's always it's him against the world, and yet he finds his way. People like him because he's
an Ange Postecoglou media darling story. He's the ugly duckling. Now he's doing.
He's
great.
the underdog. He's the underdog. Unai Emery's come with a little bit of a track record. Unai Emery's got a historical pedigree. Ange's got none of that stuff.
Get out of here. Get out of here. You guys have turned Pep and Arteta into the villains. And you have this guy acting like the nice guy. We see right through his BS, bro.
I can't wait for Hussam. I can see Hussam. I can't wait for his tweet in a minute. He's going to be putting something out there about Tottenham fans. Saying that
how is it? One second. How is it Ange hate when we were speaking about the topic? I didn't randomly bring it up.
Yeah, no. I would put Ange maybe in the top four, but for me,
that's where he belongs.
I would put Emery above them. And
so,
just see what happens.
Just real quick, just so I understand the water temperature in each one of y'all's pools here. 3-Pete, manager of the month, makes him fourth.
Yeah. And
best
also,
manager.
Manager of the month.
Just trying to understand.
What they're justifying, put aside all the waffle that Igal was just talking about this. He's trying to manipulate the media like he's some I don't know, hard cut ex-girlfriend who's trying to twist the story or the narrative.
He's a pick-me,
He is the guy who's trying to do his job, and that you're leveraging the fact that we've now got injuries and that we're going to fall off, and that's the reason why he shouldn't be manager of the month. Unai Emery hasn't had to face the injuries that Postecoglou has. Who was the other two, by the way? You said that he's fourth. Who was second and first? Or?
I would say Pep Guardiola. And
he hasn't done anything extraordinary outside of the realm for Pep Guardiola.
I think whenever you're top of the league, I think you kind of have to throw them in there. I would just say this. What he did against Chelsea, those tactics of the high line, is probably the most interesting. This is the nice way of wording it. The most interesting defensive tactics I've ever seen. And that alone eliminates him from the race of best manager of the year. That was silly. I've never seen anything in my life so bad, so silly, so stupid. As
you got $1 billion team and you lost to Wolves. I don't know, Pep Guardiola should be eliminated on that basis.
No, because anyone can lose to Wolves. You lost to Wolves.
We lost to Wolves, but we haven't got two.
Are we the measuring stick?
No. But what you're missing the point is the tactics that he deployed against Chelsea were ridiculous.
Almost worked.
Ridiculous, Sean.
It almost worked. It almost worked.
You don't
three times. It almost worked 3 times.
1 second. You don't get 3 points for almost. It was the stupidest thing ever.
I know. If we did get 3 points, we'd be sat at the top of the table still, where we were for the first 10 games. By the way.
Listen, first things first. This is my point about the whole Ange Postecoglou thing. It's a joke, man. The whole thing is a joke. The whole thing's a joke. I don't even have no logic to say. The reality is, I see right through the bullshit. and you guys don't see it because you're Spurs fans. Lewis, it's going to take you a while to see it because you don't have no affinity to Tottenham. But when you see it, and you see they lose the game to Chelsea in the fashion that they lost the game, and you have people going, Ange ball the whole week, you're going to see it. You're going to see it, bro. Right now, it's mental. I'm absolutely beside myself. How is it you lose to a team, a London rival, a team that you hate?
We're down to 9 men. We were
How
going to
do you
lose
lose
anyway.
to the former
We're gonna
club
lose anyway.
manager? 1 second. And then, after the loss, people celebrate your tactics to lose a game 4-1. How?
Because of
Not only do they celebrate your
energy,
tactics,
because of the
no,
philosophy,
one second,
because
one
of what
second.
we're trying
It
to,
gets
because of
worse,
what we're
it
trying
gets
to
worse.
eradicate. If
It
you
gets
can't
worse.
see, if you can't
It gets
see
worse.
the process, if you can't see the reason why Tottenham
It
fans
gets
celebrated,
worse.
you're
It gets
missing the
worse.
point. You're missing the most important point.
No. I'm talking about the celebration. You got Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher saying, "Oh my God, it's amazing! Look at this line; it makes me laugh." And then you have the worst of all. You have the Premier League account saying, "Ange ball, it's best." You guys lost the game.
To 9 men. When was the last time a team that went down to 9 men didn't lose a game? Name me that.
I don't know. Liverpool almost didn't lose to you.
No, when was the last time a team that had 9 men against 11
Probably Man
didn't
City.
lose the game? Didn't lose the game. Tell me.
I don't know. I don't have all the answers. All
It
I'm
was
telling you
strange.
is,
It was
Happen, right?
strange.
It doesn't
all I'm
happen.
telling you is, your manager
Strange
didn't have the answer to the Chelsea game.
It doesn't
but
happen,
you guys
Miguel.
celebrated.
And the reason why Tottenham fans stayed behind after that game and applaud. I was at the game. The reason why we stayed behind and applauded was because we gave it a go. And yeah, you're always going to be vulnerable. You're always going to, give up opportunities. We almost won it. We almost came back in the last minute. You're right. Almost doesn't matter. But the overall overriding factor is the energy in which we're trying to change at Tottenham Hotspur. We're trying to get back to something that we always used to like and appreciate, and we see that with him. Like the fact that it didn't work out, it wouldn't have worked out had we parked the bus anyway. It wouldn't have worked out had we parked the bus anyway. Just
You
like
wanna
with
know
Liverpool.
something? Chelsea are the one team you could park the bus against and it will work. The manager literally said, "We hate teams that play low blocks." If you guys would have played a low block and played from the draw, you would have got it.
We don't play for the draw, mate. We play to win.
We don't do that, mate. We don't
You
do
don't
that.
We don't play ball that way, mate. All right. If you can't
Listen,
smell the
just-
shrimp
just
on the
'cause-
barbie,
Just because
you
my guy
can-
says Barbie and mate every 2 seconds, people
The
say
reason
mate
why
now.
you guys are the reason
the
why
word,
you
Okay,
a
one
four-letter
second.
word has
Say mate
triggered
now.
fan bases
Say
across
mate
the
now.
world.
You've lost 2 games. Say
The
mate
reason
now.
why you're ruling out Ange Postecoglou as manager of the year, in spite of his 3 manager of the month, the reason why
Arteta
you're
had
ruling
4
him
manager
out
of the month.
is
It doesn't
because he
mean
went
shit.
crazy when we're down to 9 men and we ended up losing a game.
I also don't think you've been overhyped, to be honest.
What?
What?
You said you don't think he's been overhyped?
No, I said I also think they've been overhyped.
Thank you.
I think he's getting more credit because of how you're playing rather than the position you are in the league. Because I think actually if you deep it
3 points off top after 12 games.
No, but like, where would you really expect Spurs? You'd expect Spurs to be in this area of the
That's
table.
what I mean. Exactly. That's why he's getting the plaudits.
For being where he expects to be.
No Tottenham fan thought we would be 2 points off the top at the start.
Oh,
No.
hell
No. But obviously, in terms of the position in the league, I think a lot of people probably thought they'd be in and around this sort of area.
No chance. Absolutely no chance.
Well, I don't think that's completely unreasonable thing to say. I think everyone thought you'd be in
2
and
points
around.
off the top after 12 games, given what happened with Conte, where we were in March when Conte left the team and Paratici got banged up or got removed of his duties. Gary Neville made that ridiculous statement saying, when he was describing Manchester United's issues, saying, Tottenham, Tottenham aren't in the same sort of problems that Manchester United are. Like, what are you talking about, bro? 6 months ago, Tottenham had no director of football, no manager. Our coaching staff left. Our scouts were leaving. Our director of football was going to get banged up. We had absolutely no direction, no vision, no plan, no nothing. And in 3 months, we turned it around. And then at the start of the season, we end up being we still are 2 points. I know it's all going to go south from now on, but anybody who says that Tottenham fans thought we would be where we are right now at the start of the season is deluded.
Which is why I think he comes in a solid 4th place.
This is fraudulent. Absolutely fraudulent. Big up Futility. I did as you asked from the super chat. I will respect all super chats. Says, can we please move Sean to the middle of the screen and put Egal on the bottom? I don't think he belongs there. Egal's a great human first and foremost. And secondly, make sure you are subscribed to It's LB and Egal Talks Football. Whether you agree or disagree with LB saying fraudulent things like Ainge is the 4th best manager, when there's 3 Manager of the Month awards, I'd point out to say those are 3 reasons why you're wrong. But hey, alas, he's a great guy, makes some great content. And when play resumes, you can always catch me on over there for the American Dream Show that we do. So make sure you subscribe to It's LB and Egal Talks Football and Spurs Talk Show. Well, you can always find it up at the homepage of United Spurs America. But real quick, we still got over 140 of y'all across all 3 platforms. Make sure you are hitting that like. We will be ending off very shortly. We're almost on 2 hours. This has been an absolutely epic stream, so I can't thank the panelists enough. But look, let's get to nut busting time. Manager of the Month. I should have said nut crunching time is what I should have said. That's what I should have said, not the bussin'. So let's pause. Let's have an ayo moment real quick. Not bussin' time, crunching time. Look, it's getting late here. Haven't had dinner as well, so it is what it is. But look, manager of the season, obviously, you know my vote is Ainge Postecoglou. His personal cabinets he's starting to run out of room. He's gonna have to get a new IKEA cabinet to hold all those manager of the months. But look, he's had a rough go at it. We've had our first 2 losses under Ainge Postecoglou. I'm not counting Carabao Cup as a loss because within 90 minutes of football, we did not lose that match, even with all the substantial amount of changes. But regardless, I'm nominating Ainge Postecoglou manager of the month, or manager of the year. Sean, I feel like I'm gonna go with you next because your answer is probably gonna be the same as mine. Unless you have some ridiculous reasoning as to why not.
Manager. We're doing the manager. We're officially doing the manager.
This is it.
Now.
Yep. It's time.
Okay. For all the reasons I've just said, I'm going to go with Gary O'Neill.
Oh,
no, I'm going to go with Ange Postecoglou.
Okay. I was like, no, Gary O'Neill.
100%. It's not even a debate in my mind.
Yeah. Come on now.
I'm going to go Unai Emery, mate.
So we got 2 for Ainge, 1 for Unai. LB, talk to me.
Yeah, I can't vote for Postecoglou. It's not possible, man. So if I was to I do a tactical vote here and side with the guy with Unai Emery, what happens there? Because then it's 2-2.
Then I got to just see what majority of the chat says.
Yeah, then it seems
Big up to Sean. Yeah, that was an AO. Was a
super chat from me comes in to secure the finish.
Romero over Saliba says KLFC. It was super chatted into existence. Saliba will then move down to the bench and then was super chatted off of the bench. So things you love to see.
Not because of this, but for real.
Oh, you do got. Hey, feel free, man. Thank you for joining. I know you got.
Wait, before you go, I just need to get a screenshot of the team with Igal's face in it. Bang.
Oh.
He cut it out too soon, the git.
No worries. Go ahead. Where is it? Right there?
There you go. There we go. That's what I need.
There it is.
I'm putting this out on Twitter and all socials tomorrow. Super. Thank you, mate. Well done.
Big up, Egal, man. Thank you for joining. This did go a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I appreciate you joining. And
at least there's not a photo of Ange Postecoglou on the screen.
You were very lucky.
I'll be editing that one in about 20 minutes after the show's finished. Yeah.
I'm just saying, y'all are very lucky. But I will put this up because this is here in my city where Ainge and Texas meet. It was written in the stars. It was written on the maps. The streets have coincided where Texas and Ainge meet. So it's serendipitous for me. I need some more Ainge Postecoglou photos saved on this. LB, so do you are tactically voting for Emery? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I was gonna go. Yeah, big up, bro. Big up, Egal, man.
Hey, big up, Egal. Thank you so much for joining. Big up, Egal.
No worries.
I was I don't know, man. Listen, I think at the end of the day, when a manager's top of the table, he's won the most games out of everybody else. It's difficult not to say him. I really, really want to give it to Gary O'Neill. What the hell is that?
Everywhere I look, I see Ainge Postecoglou.
Bro, Okay.
Sorry. Didn't mean to distract you with beauty, but go ahead, continue.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go Unai.
Unai Emery. So we have a split. Let's see what the chat is saying. 1 for Emery, 1 for Ainge, 1-1. 2 for Ainge, 2 for Emery, 2-2. How did Romero make team of the season? Because he's a GOAT. That's why. Lionel Messi.
Quickly add something else as well, bro. I think for me, Aston Villa with Emery being 5th, despite playing Conference League football and playing Premier League. So they're playing Thursday, Sunday, where you're only playing 1 game a week. And I think he's managing his team pretty well right now. And he's got Watkins on fire. That for me is probably why I will boost him up.
Those are fair reasons. But for me, in one ear and out the other, Ainge Postecoglou, he comes from a land down under, and I support him. So let's see what else. Let's see what the chat. That is 3 for Ainge, 2 for Emery, 4 for Ainge, 5 for Ainge. Eagle's going to punch the wall. Yep, this is very disappointing, Ran, but we move. LB's a great guy. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. That is 5 for Ainge, 3 for Emery, 6 for Ainge, 3 for Emery, 7 for Ainge, 4 for Unai, 5 for Unai. So it's 8-6, 8-7.
You're counting the same people twice, though.
Oh, really? Did I do that?
LB's coming in with like several posts here.
LB's trying to rig the system here.
Yeah.
It honestly looks like it's about split down the middle, 9 and 9 each.
Listen, Jacob, I've just realised I had no idea it's 25-1. I've got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I need to go.
Yeah, man, no worries. We're ending it off here, but big up. Go subscribe to the Spurs Talk Show. It will be in the description of this video if you need help finding it. For those of you on playback, well, big up, Sean. Thanks for joining me.
Nice to meet you, LB. See you soon,
Take care.
Take care, guys. Cheers. See you, chat. Shout out to the chat.
Big up the chat. And then there were 2. Look, we're going to round this off. LB, get on your burner. I see another Ainge. There's another Emery. For every Ainge, there's an Emery. I don't know what's going on here. But look, yeah, big up Sean every single time. Big up everybody who has been in the chat. We are going to end it off there. For me, I'm saying Ainge. We've been split. I guess it's an Ainge-Emery debate off. We'll see who finishes higher at the end of the league, at the end of the year.
You play each other next weekend.
What's that?
Don't you play each other next weekend?
Yeah, we do. So the debate should end there. But hey, a full strength Unai Emery and Aston Villa versus a depleted.
What I would say, Jacob, you've got very clippable content here. If you can remember about this very stream, then next Sunday at circa 5 p.m. UK time, you can go back to this stream, look at the conversations we had about Unai Emery versus Ange, and you'll be able to clip either me and Nigal and make us look very funny and then post that as a video, or you can clip up yourself and Sean. You've got evergreen content there, my friend.
Hey, isn't that the beautiful part about making some content? Hey, LB, I just want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart for joining for this long. I did not plan on it going this long, but I appreciate you being here. Look, his title is in, or his channel is in the title of this video, but I'm going to go ahead and post it across all of the platforms here, and where you can find It's LB. But is there anything you want to shout out before we go ahead and go and send everyone over to Staffy TV, the fraud?
No. I'm just hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Remember, it is a bit of banter. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff we say is for content to make you guys laugh and smile. So don't take it all serious. You know what I mean? But
of course.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure obviously you smash a like, and thank you for the plug, Jacob. I appreciate that, man. And as Jacob said before, took a break this week just because it's international break, but usually on Sunday nights we have the American Dream show on my channel, which Jacob comes on and represents Spurs. So yeah, it's a pretty good opportunity for the Americans to come on and have their say, and I enjoy it. We've only done 2 shows so far because I started it 2 weeks ago, but Jacob can come on when he's got time. So yeah, but I appreciate you having me on, man. I've enjoyed it tonight.
Of course, man. Hey, thank you for cutting out some time in your evening for little United Spurs of America. Look, also, I do want to go ahead and shout out big thanks LB and Spurs Talk Show for the redirects. And I also want to say thank you. I see there's been 8 subscribers throughout the show. So big up to the 8 people who have subscribed. We are now officially 70 subs away from 3K, y'all. So big up to everyone who's helping us get there. And then I want to say thank you to the monetary investments into the channel from Anime Fanatic, Mike Doss, Spurs Talk Show. Shout out Futility for the biggest dono of the night, and Steve D as well. Callum Roach, thank you so much. Taught Spurs as well, and Futility rounding us off with another and the final super chat of the day. So big up, and thank you so much to everyone who did do that. Again, if you want to do the free thing and support the channel, not spend a single penny, just hit the like, hit the subscribe, turn that notification bell on, and find out when we're going live next. Tomorrow, I've got a great show. Y'all saw Hussam in the chat earlier. He got very triggered. He said he can't wait for his debut tomorrow. So we've got Hussam making his debut. That's going to be 3 debuts in 2 days. And honestly, that's moving mad on this channel. So big up to everyone who's been a part of that. I hope to see y'all all here tomorrow. I need all the Spurs fans grilling Hussam. I'm going to go through tonight and tomorrow, and I'm bookmarking some of the best Hussam tweets, and I'm going to put them on full blast. So it's going to be a good time. I hope y'all can join us here. But until next time, folks, do you have any final thoughts? I was trying to ask my guests for a final thought before I do the sign out and say goodnight.
My only final thought is, while things are looking good for Spurs in the short term, I have concerns about their future medium to long term unless serious investment is made into the squad based on other clubs' spending activities. That's it. I'll leave you with that.
Love it very much. And for anybody who says, I love you, LB, but anybody who thinks Ainge Postecoglou ain't this, that, and the other because of 2 matches, this is how I frankly feel.
Stop playing with my fucking name. All 3 of y'all. Stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
And that's going to be that. Quit playing on Ainge Postecoglou's name, all right? I'm going to leave that there. So as always, folks, this has been episode number 96. It's been a doozy. Thank you so much. We are 10 likes away from 100. So those of you on playback, big up yourself, you bunch of goats. Hit that like if you have not already. But thank you again to everyone who has tuned in. This has been episode 96 of the Untitled series. So until next time, folks, stay fresh, stay blessed, up the lads, and come on, you Spurs. And say hello to Staffy when I send y'all on over there. But as always, quiz.
United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.